never addressed it.
I just looked up JonTron for some reason the other day.
Yeah?
I was just like, what's that racist up to anyway?
We were talking
He
about
made that killer Twitter joke that
what was
he's
it?
probably waited for years. Well, it was after the Danny Avadan accusations came out.
Yeah. Which it turns out
She retracted her statement. Yeah.
well, the original that and the whole original bombshell came from a subreddit that is entirely dedicated to hating the game.
called Rant Grumps.
r/rant grumps. Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out none of those accusations held any water.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he doesn't, I mean,
He's still a piece of shit. Like, the accusation that he's a piece of shit that bangs his fans and then ghosts them is still pretty well...
Yeah, that's scummy, but at least it's not illegal.
yeah.
Technically not illegal.
Technically not
No,
illegal.
I mean, like I
But
said,
scummy.
if I was single and I was, I would be whoring around too.
Yeah, that's the whole point of celebrity, is to
Right.
have
Is
a
he-
lot of sex.
Is he single, though?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
He's been dating someone for a couple of years.
Okay.
But he was at the time, yeah.
Whoever would have imagined that the lead singer of Ninja Sex Party was a serial pervert?
He had even addressed, like, I saw him on a panel, like, years ago, and he was like, he said something along the lines of, like...
Talking to the mic.
Are you recording this? Why are you recording this?
Why not?
Oh, okay. He said something along the lines of, like, my real life persona was starting to turn into my, like, celebrity persona.
Yeah.
And he's like, and that was not cool. So I think that's probably the time frame that came from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
But like, I don't think he's like that person.
Yeah, I do think that there is, if you're going to be a minor celebrity, having a lot of sex is kind of the whole point.
Yeah, of course.
Also, if you're going to be a miner,
Also, if
like
you're going
a
to be
coal miner,
If you're a
Or
coal
if you're
miner,
going to be Yarmir Yager.
right,
if you're a celebrity coal
definitely the
miner.
point if you're Yager.
yeah.
You know all those famous coal miners that they, yeah.
I gotta tell you, I have a weakness for a man in a headlamp.
I have a weakness for a man with black lung.
Well, yeah, I mean the whole package. It's
Yeah.
not you can't separate it.
Oh, buddy, you are the whole package.
Spin around in those sooty coveralls.
That's right.
Please cuff pieces of your young onto me.
You're
You're
young.
Carl Young.
You're Carl Young.
Spit pieces of Carl Young onto
Let me
me.
see
Ooh,
your
baby.
CT scan.
Oh, yeah.
What is happening?
Cover me with carbon, Jazz Daddy.
What's
Jazz Daddy?
Cold daddy.
Jazz Daddy? What's happening is that this is the Three Dudes Show plus
Oh, hey,
one.
everybody.
Yeah.
hello.
Hey, who's the guest?
Our guest,
me.
It's me.
it's her.
It's Kristy.
Welcome back, Kristy.
It's Kristy Sticking Port.
It is.
All right.
It is
It's Gluey Sticking Stuff.
Gluey sticking stuck.
it is guesty dudes in port.
Yes, that's me. That's the one.
Dudes in port.
I am here.
Welcome to the show.
We are doing this thing. Thank you.
I am a real
I
guest.
wanted to be back on the show
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
trying
very
to-
long time.
I'm trying to remember the last time you were on.
a
But
very long time ago.
yeah.
I
And
know,
then Dan just like surpassed me.
Yeah, so
And
you had to
it's-
take your throne back.
It's my goal to take my throne back.
I know Aubrey wants to be on again when she is fully vaccinated.
Oh, she can't. She can't come on.
well, shit.
Oh, no.
Bad news, baby. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, what?
Don't break my Aubrey's heart that
Don't
way.
go breaking my
not
heart.
your Aubrey's heart. My Aubrey's heart.
Yeah, it's been a long time since she was on, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta once this whole virus thing is done, when we've completely eradicated viruses from the world,
Yes.
we're gonna need
when
to.
humans are dead. Planet's a burning ball of ash.
dead.
Yeah, when there's no more living things to infect because they're all dead.
Then the dead will walk the earth.
I read some creepy thing on the internet recently about rabies and exactly how bad it is. Reddit likes to... I keep looking over like she's still going.
Yes.
That's right. They are dead.
The humans are dead.
Maybe we should talk to the humans.
Maybe we should talk to the humans.
Sorry.
Peter, let's go
Sidetracked
talk
us.
to the humans.
Let's go. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Can we go talk to the humans, Peter?
Talk to the humans, Peter.
Peter, what are you doing in my bedroom?
Brandy, show.
Sorry, David. Continue.
Say, Fred, I think it's time you advance to the next level of the Royal Order of the Water Buffalo.
We've devolved.
Barney, what are you doing with a machete?
You know, for 5,000 years, Fred, we've secretly ruled every government on Earth, steering humanity towards the light.
I made a list of my top 5 favorite jokes. This is like my favorite joke.
The humans still haven't caught on to our reptilian form. Now there's a lot of rumor about the ritual involved in this ceremony, Fred, but really it's just a bunch of sucking each other's dicks. So let's yabba dabba do it.
Yeah, so every now and then Reddit likes to remind people of how horrible rabies is.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's terrifying.
And I saw a post recently. It was like, what are the facts you wish you could unknow? And there were some really disturbing ones in there. But a full breakdown of everything that happens to you if you get rabies is definitely one of the worst.
Yeah.
It's virtually undetectable in a lot of ways. Like until it's too late. Like until you're showing.
Incurable once it takes hold.
Yeah. Just super scary.
Like if you don't get the vaccine immediately.
Yeah, and it can look like just a scratch you got. And then, oh no, by the time you're afraid of a glass of water.
By the way, it's rabies.
Oops, all rabies.
Ugh. I don't know why I brought that up.
I don't either.
Okay.
Whatever. There was a reason for it.
We had been talking about vaccines.
Maybe.
Here's something I wish I could unknow. Back in the early 2000s, some dude got jibbed by a jet engine on an airway tarmac in Colombia, or it was some country in the northern half of South America.
Some weird country.
one of those places what have the bananas and the plantains.
And the cocaine.
Some weirdo foreign country with a lot of cocaine.
And the Spanish. And the Incas. But anyway,
the Incas.
But anyway, no. You got torn up by a jet engine, sucked him right in, and shat him out the other end.
Oh my god!
And
that's not the horrifying part.
That's not the horrifying part. The horrifying part is that the things like splatter patterns, trace DNA, scratch marks seem to indicate that he was still alive and moving as he was being ripped apart by this. Like it wasn't instant.
That's awful. Thanks for sharing that horrifying fact you wish you didn't know.
This is why you people tune into this show. For hard-hitting things
All
like that.
the gore.
Fred, watch what happens when I turn on this jet engine.
Bernie,
that's a man. I think he's alive, Fred.
Well, he's not anymore. He's not a man anymore, Fred.
No, he's a big smear of grape jelly.
Oh, that's awful.
Life is horrifying random chaos, Fred.
Barney, I think you need to undo my handcuffs, Barney. You need to see what I've done, Fred.
Sorry, Fred. There's no way you can assure me that you won't go to the police.
You know what that means.
Oh my god.
So anyway,
Jesus Christ.
So that guy obviously was pretty fucked, but we're also fucked. Maybe not as bad as that.
Great segue.
But we're not getting sucked into a jet engine fucked, but we're still pretty fucked.
Yeah. Nothing is fucked.
Kristy, as our guest, would you like to ask Dave to explain why he's fucked?
Yes, thank
with
you.
Psych out.
I like
Pass.
the bait and switch. Why are you fucked?
Pass.
You're passing?
Yeah. I don't have anything yet.
Oh no, I'll send flowers.
I don't have anything. All right.
Chris? Why are we fucked?
Honestly, I'm not feeling particularly fucked right now.
Good.
Things have been pretty good lately. I've, I think it coincides with my drug addiction, which has really helped me level out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on ecstasy all the time now. Because if I stop taking ecstasy, I get really sad and I want to hang myself.
Right. So as long as you just keep putting ecstasy in your body.
Right, I figure everything will be fine.
I've been on ecstasy now for 13 days straight, and if I stop now, I worry my heart is going to implode.
But aside from the sweating and constantly being awake and needing to dance
And wanting to make out with strangers during a pandemic.
it's been great.
rubbing
squirrels.
rubbing random objects from the house on your nipples to see what they're like.
Biting your tongue and cheeks off, so you need to have a pacifier as a grown adult.
Licking batteries to make sure they're still good.
Yeah, it's been great. But no, really, everything's been peachy keen.
Well, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's weird for me because usually my life is falling apart.
Yeah.
And things are terrible. But
Right. At least for, a little while, it's been kind of a bumpy one.
yeah, it's not been great. Not at all. But yeah, things have been better. I saw some old Best Buy friends yesterday. I was
Nice.
out hanging out with some friends, not at a sex club.
Okay, sure.
Definitely not.
Not at that one downtown behind that big abandoned building.
Anyway.
Off the interstate.
No, it was nice. I got to see some old Best Buy friends who I haven't seen in a while, and I miss everybody. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's, I miss my little buddies.
Little buddy.
My little buddy.
Oh, my little buddy.
Little buddy.
It takes a while to cultivate a place of work and find out who your people are, so it sucks when you leave.
Takes a lot to cultivate rice too.
Yeah,
if
that's
you've never
right.
done it before. I don't know.
You want to expand on that, or
Nope,
no?
no.
Just want to drop that in there.
Let's move on. Just gonna leave that out in the ether. Let it dangle a little.
I guess I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one.
Well, it's too late.
yeah.
you passed.
So, Kristy,
Yeah, right.
We are fucked because people who have access to the COVID shot are passing on the COVID shot for dumb reasons, and the dumbest of which is because they want a particular one because of dumb Facebook videos going around that tell them that the Moderna and Pfizer shots change your DNA,
right?
which doesn't happen. That's not how it works. It's not a thing.
Now, if you were to ask them how, they wouldn't be able to answer that question.
They might give you some mumbo jumbo, and they'll definitely say mRNA, but just because they're putting mRNA, that does not change your DNA.
Yeah, it means
It does not manipulate your DNA.
Just tells cells what to do. It doesn't change
Right.
your genetic structure.
Right.
Right.
We don't have the technology to do that to an already living
Yet.
organism.
Right.
Not
And
yet.
if we did, we would have already done horrible things with it.
Exactly.
I would have given myself 2 extra arms out of my armpits years ago.
Yeah,
just
so
have the
you
head
can
over.
go about your daily life and jerk off at the same time
Oh,
constantly.
wait a minute. Now I see.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of playing Halo, but with 2 controllers, so I
Yeah.
could control 2 players at the same time.
and jerking off.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You
play
need
video
3
games
extra
and
hands for that.
you play video games and wipe your ass at the same time.
Yeah.
I
about
mean,
that?
you have a Nintendo Switch now, so
Right, yeah.
you could technically
already
do
do
that.
that.
You
now.
gotta hold it with one hand and then wipe with the other hand.
Yeah, right. Or just wipe with the Switch.
Right, yeah.
We're sharing it, so please don't.
I would also have
She gets the first wipe.
I'm a gentleman. I'll give her the first wipe.
Kristy, first wipe to heaven for you.
I would also have altered my genome to give myself a prehensile penis.
Prehensile.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what exactly prehensile means. You can have a bone in it, or
No, it's like you could grab
Like
shit
an
with
elephant
it.
trunk.
or like a monkey tail.
okay. So you're just walking around picking stuff up with your wiener, and then I guess just setting it back down.
Ben
Yeah,
Prehensile Penis Reese.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
I like these new nicknames that we're coming up with. They're going to stick. I
You're
can
gonna have
tell.
to make another book.
If
Yeah, I will.
If we had the ability to rewrite the human genome, furries wouldn't need those expensive ass costumes. They just have to get a one-time, really expensive gene splicing treatment.
What a horrifying thought.
Right?
Imagine you're in the grocery store and there's just a pony man in front of you.
Furries.
I mean, I don't even have to imagine.
Can I just? Maybe that's why I'm fucked. That there's furries alive.
Okay.
They just exist.
It's an uncomfortable proposition.
It's a weird.
I don't yuck people's yums. Just don't try to
I don't
yip
either.
me.
I don't either. But I'm not into the yif thing, dude.
Yeah, don't yip me.
It's
Don't
I
yif
said
me.
yip.
Don't yif me, bro.
Don't yip me, bro.
It's like, I mean, sure, you know,
And don't ask who I know the terminology.
like I don't know, you see Bugs Bunny in drag a few too many times as a kid, and I don't know where it comes from.
Right, but he wears that sexy bra. And
Oh yeah, he's hot. He's fucking.
Yeah, he pulls it
I'd
off
fuck
better than
Bugs.
Lola. But yeah, I mean, like, whatever, to each their own. It's just like, I can't think of a single other kink that people advertise so publicly.
Yeah.
And so just out there.
so
Yeah.
when I was living in Pittsburgh, yeah, I have a furry story.
I know.
When
I know
was,
this story.
I've got a couple actually. When I was living in Pittsburgh, there was a hotel that hosted like one of the big conventions every year.
FurCon.
Yeah. So my ex's,
Don't ask me how I know.
my ex's,
Oh yeah, FurCon over there down by the hotel right on the river.
Yeah, it's like $30 entrance
Yeah,
fee.
it's like every April 12th
weekend
through
if they have a
15th
ball pit.
Right, yeah. Not that I would know, but it's like parking is really expensive these days, so you might want to park across the street.
Not that
it's
I
a
would-
cheaper lot.
everything I know about
Yeah.
furries I learned from a CSI episode in like 2006. No, but so for whatever reason, my ex's parents and their friends were like, yeah, let's just go check it out. So they just like went and hung out in the hotel lobby and talked to furries and plushies, and they got pictures and were like, you don't know what you've done. Like
Yeah.
you don't know who you were talking to. Like,
God.
what are you doing? And then my other story was like a year later, we were driving through like downtown Pittsburgh, and I look over and there's like people walking on the sidewalk, and my ex was on the phone with someone at the time, so he wasn't like paying attention. He was paying attention to driving and talking, but he wasn't like seeing what was going on.
happening, yeah.
So there's like people walking down the sidewalk, and I see a couple people with like tails, and I'm like, okay, like you see one of those every so often, whatever.
That's like fur.
But then I see like,
Usually like scene kids.
yeah, but then I see like a couple more, and I'm like, all right, that's a little weird. And then I see someone in like a full horse
suit.
costume, and I'm like, what is happening? And then I was like, FurCon. But it's a little disorienting the first one that
Yeah.
happens.
So this is
Like,
a,
what? Am I on a trip? Like,
yeah.
I think it's fine when it's like, oh, it's in some hotel and something's going on here. That's cool. But like, I feel like if you walk into your Jimmy John's and there's like a parrot
There's
person.
just a horse.
A dude, a blue fox in front of you.
Yeah, right.
Well, okay. The mascot for the Pirates is a parrot, so it might not be all that unusual in Pittsburgh.
And he just hangs out in the costume outside.
And
of
then the
gate.
mascot for the Penguins is
Jacking
a
off.
penguin.
It's just the parrot jacking off out front of Jimmy John's. It's like, no, I'm not a furry. I'm with the team.
Did you know those guys like the furry people are banned from several hotel chains?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're banned because
Oh, you know what?
Some of the crazier people among them are like into diaper fur.
Internet historian did
Yeah.
a great video
Isn't
about.
there like sorry, continue.
No, you're good.
Isn't there like a weird contingency of furries that are like very nationalist as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
yeah.
There's a lot of Nazi. It's so fucking weird.
Conservative
community.
furry.
You know what, Kristy? I realize why you know
Conservies.
this is because you accidentally once shared to the wrong group chat a picture
yeah.
of Nazi furries, and then
Yeah.
we're like, "Whoops, that's not for this group."
But they were cool with it.
Yeah.
We have surprisingly good friends.
It's like, "Oops, well, enjoy this picture."
I was like, yeah, fuck, that was not meant for you.
I'm not sure who.
I'm glad you're all on the
I'm not sure
level.
who it is meant for.
Not sure why this exists, or
It was
here you go.
meant for the people who regularly torture each other with things we wish we hadn't seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, like my Muppet Burlesque show that I shared the other day.
that
Yes.
was weird.
Yeah, Muppet
that was weird
Burlesque,
for sure.
dude. Yeah.
Oh, do you remember when I showed you guys that?
Beaker got nice titties.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Neep.
Neep.
Do you remember when I showed you guys that private message that got circulated around the internet?
Yes.
You might not have seen this, Kristy.
It was
I
this.
don't think so.
It was this absolutely bizarre message. This guy,
Cringe.
one of these people that are like they want to be like a walking thesaurus.
Yeah.
And
It's like every word is unnecessarily
Yeah.
replaced
I am
with
very
something.
smart kind of
Yeah.
guy.
And
Yeah.
also a porn connoisseur.
Yeah. He wrote this person in a private message to say that that he's essentially in so many words jacked off to his character a bunch, only to find out that this particular character is a man, and demanded that the artist change the character's gender.
I think I have seen that.
And also claimed that he was like directly descended from Julius Caesar.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of like Roman, pseudo-fascist stuff flying around there.
There's a
He
quote-
talks about crossing the Rubicon.
Yeah, he says a quote that's something like, Vor is obviously a female.
Female dominant kink.
It's like, what a weird. Obviously,
Oh my god.
I know.
That's the kink where like you want to eat people, right?
Get in my belly, Piglet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Make me
eating
feel
or
good.
being eaten.
yeah.
It's weird that we regularly say that to our
That is
dog,
weird.
right?
Yeah.
Get in my belly, Piglet.
Thanks, YouTube.
Well, anyway, we were on
Why are we
something
fucked?
about why we're being fucked.
Why we are currently being fucked.
Why we're currently fucked.
Why we are fucking.
And it was
Here's why we're fucking.
and it was it furries or was it
I said furries.
you said
yeah.
furries?
They weird me
No,
out.
Christy was talking about
I said
vaccines.
Vaccines, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, diaper fur people.
Oh yeah,
that
and then we
too.
got into
Yeah.
gene splicing.
Yeah.
Yada yada. Yeah.
It went places.
Oh yeah, diaper fur people. Where else does that sentence fragment make sense?
Only here.
But on this podcast,
Right, diaper
Diaper.
fur.
Oh right,
Oh, right.
diaper fur people.
And everyone goes, oh yeah.
Yeah, that particular subset of the subset of. Anyway,
Weird.
I think it's your turn, Ben.
Yes. Well, it's Dave's actually.
I'll
why,
go.
Yeah,
why are
right.
you fucked?
I'll go. I started a new antidepressant, and I'm waiting for it to make me weird. And so far, it hasn't. But I might be making me incredibly sleepy.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
it's making you very sleepy.
I don't know. It's
That'll happen until you get used to it.
it's like every single day by 5 o'clock, I'm ready to like lay down and go to bed.
Yeah.
Every day.
Me too. It does it to me too.
Yeah, I
Fucking sucks.
I usually have a quick nap when I come home from work. There are some days when I don't, but
I like naps, but
Yeah.
I don't like every single day. I've only been on it like a week and a half, but it's like every single day I just want to go to bed.
your body will get used to it. Like antidepressants take several weeks to really like
Yeah.
reach their full.
Even
Months-
my
months
Buse
even.
bar, when I
Yeah.
was on it, like, it would make me. Dizzy's not the right word, but it's the closest word I can get to it. Like, it would make my head feel weird, but I could push through it. Like, I could drive and have that happen. It would be fine, but it's just like a weird feeling. And eventually it stopped happening once I got used to it. And it would also make me drowsy when I first started it and eventually just got used to it.
Maybe that's just normal, and I don't know. It might also just be that I'm just tired, but like it's getting really annoying to like every day be ready to go to bed at 5 o'clock.
I'd give it more time, but if it like persists and interrupts your life and isn't worth it, then that's when you gotta
Yeah,
make
right.
the call. But
Yeah. Just take up heroin.
same effect.
So much.
You know what? I think all the time how nice it would be
Oh
to
my
just
God.
medicate myself with mushrooms
Oh,
instead.
dude.
Microdosing.
Yeah, microdosing and then macrodosing and then just eating handfuls of mushrooms constantly.
Just dosing in general.
Right, and then just
take-
always be high.
I didn't know that Leroy was under the table, and then he licked my finger, and it was very unsettling.
You remember today when I went to pet him and accidentally put my whole hand in his mouth?
Yeah.
He was like yawning, and I didn't realize. I'm just like, oh, that's a handful of teeth. Like, fuck. It was like really startled me.
He was surprised to find a
Handful of
hand in his
teeth
mouth
took
too.
It's just like, oh. You don't expect to put your hand in a dog's mouth when you're not looking.
So where else but here would that sentence fragment?
Yep. Ben, why are you fucked?
So I think we're all a bit fucked for the reason that for one reason or another. Hey, leave it.
Leave it, dude.
Leave it, Leroy.
For one reason or another on Boba, get please.
Oh my god.
On all of my on all the social media that I'm on, which is not very much.
Yeah.
on mobile at least, because I have ad blocker on my computer.
I'm getting ads.
I'm getting ads for the Marines.
What?
Oh yeah, a bunch of them. I got a bunch too.
They must be doing some kind of big surge now. But why we're fucked? Not only because they're obviously targeting high schoolers with this shit who don't know any better than to
which they've always done.
Yeah. Of course. But we're fucked because this is obviously the work. Like, this is not something they would contract out for, right? This is something that is probably done by internally.
Of course, yeah.
So you're saying like an actual Marine somewhere in like a public relations department?
Yeah, they definitely have a PR department.
Yeah. Not just one Marine, but like several, probably NCOs.
Yeah.
Being paid my fucking healthcare money to sit on a computer all day and try to dupe kids into risking their lives for fucking oil companies.
Yeah.
Are you a directionless fuck? Let us brainwash you.
Yeah.
I mean, like this has been around since. I mean, like I remember when the armies started like using video games to try and recruit kids.
Yep. SOCOM.
Yeah.
U.S. Navy SEAL.
And it was like, it seemed
sure.
novel because it's like, well, hey, you're going to virtually shoot people all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least SOCOM was kind of good.
Yeah.
At
Now
least
they're advertising on Fortnite.
Yeah. No, they're doing what's that one? The Fallujah game, 6 Days in Fallujah. Is the next big one.
Yeah, and they're gonna leave out all the war crimes and but anyway, no, it pisses me off that a bunch of NCOs not only are getting a regular paycheck, but probably also a pension when they retire with my fucking healthcare money.
Yeah, there's other things we could be doing.
Sitting there and writing shit like, do you have the right stuff? Throwing
Do you have it?
throwing fucking darts at a bulletin board with catchphrases like, do you have the right stuff? Find your path. Be all you can be. I don't think they use that anymore.
Army National Guard.
Just making dipshit catchphrases to try and dupe high school kids into enlisting with our fucking healthcare money.
Well, the worst, I think the bigger tragedy is like still, what the fuck else are people gonna do?
Yeah.
That's the bigger tragedy.
Yeah, right.
It's if you had been prepared at a certain point to go off and like code, you could make yourself reasonably well. You could live a good life, but they're not preparing people to do that still.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the school system is still 20 years behind where it needs to be.
And you know what? When these PR fucking armchair warriors get fucking, when they leave duty, they're gonna put like an I served bumper sticker on their car, on their fucking lifted pickup. You fucking know they are. They're gonna put like an I served. They're gonna get like one of those license plate things that say veteran on it. Like
Lots of important
like
jobs don't involve shooting people.
I would say this is an important job. Why do the Marines need that? We know the armed forces exist.
Yeah, in this country specifically, we know that.
We know people won't stop jerking them off. The armed forces won't stop jerking themselves off. Fucking
Join the army and
What do you
jerk
want them
yourself
to do with
off.
all those arms?
Yeah, right. They have the DNA now.
Uncle Sam wants you to jack yourself off.
Do you have what it
like the
takes to
poster.
jag off?
Uncle Sam's beating it. He's like, his head's crooked.
Yeah,
thing
he's shirtless
about-
with the hat.
The U.S. Army wants you to fucking jerk this
The
dick.
thing about being in the military is it's a bond with your brothers because you know that if you lose an arm, they will jerk you off.
Hey, I don't want to brag or anything,
That's why,
but I know I have that arrangement right here.
That's why Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket got so hung up on how he seemed like the one guy seemed like the kind of guy who'd fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Right. That's the handbook.
That's what they teach you that in the first week of boot.
Right.
Before you do that thing where you climb the wall, you got to figure out how to jack a man off in the field.
You climb obstacles like old people.
You have to undo a belt buckle with one hand. Like, you have to be efficient.
Now
You also have to jerk someone off while taking apart and re-putting together your gun.
All right.
I love combat. I love work. I love combat circle jerks.
Sound off.
Yeah. It's like a whole course on supplying lubricants in a desert. It's like,
When all else fails, use your spit.
Aloe is the way to go, though.
Yeah.
But number one, aloe.
Of course.
well, if you're lucky
It's
enough
nice
to
and
be,
cooling.
if you're lucky enough to be in a field accident in Mexico,
If you are dehydrated enough that you cannot
desert
use your own
plant.
spit, use the blood of one of the civilians you just gunned down.
Jesus Christ, Ben.
I'm fucking sick of the military. I'm fucking sick of them. I'm sick to death. Like, I served. I don't give a shit. I didn't ask you to serve. Why the fuck should I be grateful for that? We haven't fought a war worth fighting since 1945.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Korea.
I still err on the side of like, you kind of got to respect people taking a position
I
that
do.
should
Yeah,
be scary.
absolutely I do.
That is scary because I didn't do it for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons. One of them was it's scary.
I can
One of them.
I can respect people who got drafted and served when they didn't want to. I can't hold any respect for someone who signs up for any of the wars we're fighting now. They're pointless. They're worthless. We're not doing any good for the world. We're fucking things up worse. And anyone who signs up to fight in these wars, I think is fucking deluded. I'm not going to thank them for their service. You fucking kidding me?
I respect people who choose to do it. And I do think a big part of it is the messaging that we get told. And everyone feels very different things about the wars we're fighting and all that. And I don't necessarily agree with them. I do respect people who choose to do it now. Mm-hmm. I do wish that things were different and like when we fuck people up by having them join the military and fight these wars we may or may not agree with, maybe we put more money into taking care of those people
Yeah,
and
right,
how fucked
exactly.
up.
Yeah,
like,
so the civilians don't have to be guilted into doing things that VAs should be doing,
Right.
And
Yeah.
don't.
God, what a complete patchwork of a system that just I don't know. Thank you is not really enough. Even if you're not inclined to thank someone, even that thank you wouldn't be enough.
It's like George Carlin said. Republicans only care about you up until you're out of the womb, and then unless you're picking up a gun, then fuck you. You're even after you're done with that and you're out, fuck you. You're not fighting for us anymore. Why do we give a shit?
yeah, it's a very what can you do for me mentality, and that's not healthy.
I'm trying to think of like what oh, shut up, Doug. What some Marine on Fortnite going, hey man, do you want to like do you want to build cover but for real?
No, I don't. That sounds awful.
No, and I mean the armed forces, at least the army, has a fucking esports channel on Twitch.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which routinely, as you saw, gets bombarded by people, spamming World of War crimes.
I always feel bad for the human in every scenario.
Yeah.
Just a guy who's like, listen, my job is to sit here and like have this conversation, and it's just like I gotta read walls of spam of people.
Hey, welcome to Twitch.
Yeah, right, exactly. Poggers, war crime poggers. I don't know. I always feel bad for the human in every
Poggers.
Yeah, right.
Like
No more
fat ass white girls. What?
Isn't poggers no longer allowed on Twitch?
Well, so they changed what the icon that comes up if you type in PogChamp. It's now some kind of lizard.
What?
Making the same sort of expression. Well, because the guy in that emote, his name is his handle is Gootex.
Okay. I don't think I know anything about this.
Right. This Gooch guy's a bad deal.
He's a well-known name in the fighting community.
Oh, this guy.
And
yeah, that face.
And at some point in the last 4 or 5 years, he went off the deep end kind of like went full Travis Bickle and started like spouting right-wing conspiracy nonsense and, you know, sending hate mail to, you know, trans streamers and gay streamers and just turned into a real piece of shit over the years.
Just one of those things they don't want to be associated with anymore.
Yeah, so they changed what comes up when you type in PogChamp, and it's a lizard making the same kind of expression.
Now it's David Icke.
Now it's David Duke.
Now it's David Duke making that face.
Oops, all hate.
Yep.
But
Oops, all Klansmen.
but yeah, we're fucked because there are people in the military who are getting paid salary and pensions out of our fucking money to do jobs that aren't necessary whatsoever.
I feel like this is a perennial topic on this show, but it's like we do spend so much fucking money on that shit. And like what could we do as a country if we didn't have to spend an insane amount of our gross domestic product on like the biggest, baddest army on planet Earth?
Here's another thing that I read today. Speaking of, you know, gosh, where are we going to put all this money other than the military?
How about the homeless population?
That would be a start.
Thanks for spoiling my.
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
The exact numbers though that I saw earlier today, that I read earlier today, were that there are 17 million vacant homes in the United States. Mm-hmm. The current homeless population at any given moment is around 500,000.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The homeless population that is able to be verified at any moment in the United States is about 500,000. Like it's something like 550,000 plus people.
But here's the thing. When we start talking about real solutions, we get the people who are like, yeah, we need to do something. And then when you say, okay, like that abandoned house in your neighborhood, we're going to move a homeless person in. Oh, not that. That's not the solution I want.
Not next to me, maybe.
Yeah,
someone else.
But
They're kind of not showered enough for me.
But you see, if you give them a home, they're not homeless
stop
anymore.
Right.
By definition, they can shower. They have an address that they can put on an application to get work.
It's the George Carlin bit, the not in my backyard. Everyone wants a solution, but no one wants to participate or deal with. The thing is, you're right. A homeless person moves in. They're no longer homeless, but there's still a stigma associated with it.
Yeah.
And that it's the stigma that leads governments to put spikes on stoops and put dividers on benches.
Yeah.
Like why are you making it more difficult?
Isn't that the most asshole design ever?
what
Is when
is-
you see a bench with spikes all over it.
Or
Yeah.
like a stoop to a business that has spikes on it, or whatever.
Ugh.
If you
So frustrating.
if you dig around on Twitter or Facebook, especially Twitter, you can find posts where people provide links on Amazon or other hardware retailers to the specific tools that you need to unfasten those bars that they put on benches and just throw them away.
Toss them in a storm drain.
Yeah. There are people also who have locksmith tools for unlocking those circular locks. So that you can open up the coin depository for your apartment complex and
I
not
saw
have
that.
to pay for laundry.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Give me my quarterback.
It's $1.50 now at our place to do our. That's
Yeah.
$3 total. $1.50 for washing, $1.50 for drying.
They only changed one of our machines, so we're still paying $1.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, score. Saving that 50 cents.
All right.
Well, anyway, we're gonna move on to more.
Did Dave go?
Yeah, I did.
You did? Okay, never mind.
We're gonna move on to other things after a quick break.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Kristy had offered
That's
to
me.
make
Yeah, she did
a
it.
game.
Yes.
All right.
We gonna play a game.
gonna-
I'm gonna chain one of you to that hole, and then I'm gonna give you a saw, and then we're gonna abandon you.
Oh, who's going to get to be the new Jerry?
Oh man, Jerry, his bones are still over there behind the couch.
I was just reminded of Jerry because I was scrolling through our episodes trying to see if we had done the topic that I selected for today, and we have not.
Which was, taking a man prisoner, not feeding him.
It was originally going to be superheroes, but we had already done superpowers, and I felt like that was too similar.
Dehumanizing him.
Yeah, right. Breaking him down slowly.
But
until
Break it down.
until he forgets his name. World of War Crimes PogChamp. So we'll be back after this break. Stick around.
Yeah.
Don't pick your nose.
Stick around.
or do.
Or, it's a free country.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Three Dude Podcast. Hey. Yeah.
You can find us at 3dudecast.com.
If you're wondering whether that's spelled with the numeral 3 or the word 3, the answer is yes.
We're so proud of ourselves.
We're so clever. We're such clever boys.
Wow. We've switched hosting to Podbean. You can still find us on iTunes and Google Play. So give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like, give us a listen, give us a review somewhere.
Give us a sandwich.
Give us a high five.
Give us sponsorships.
Please give us a hug.
Give us that money. It's kind of like, hey.
Hey. So, boys,
Yeah.
Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
do you want to play a game?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Come on.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
You come unplugged?
Fucking thing sucks.
Oh, it got jostled, and then
yeah.
you couldn't hear for a second.
You got jiggled? Can you hear now?
I mean, I can hear it's just coming out of one earphone.
You gotta fiddle with it.
Yeah,
It's usually the
I'm fiddling with
connection.
it. I just got it. I know what to do.
You jiggle it.
You gotta jiggle.
it.
Have you tried running it as administrator?
Any,
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
anything more than 2 jiggles and it's playing with yourself.
That's what I've been told.
What
Ain't gonna stop
more
me.
advice can we give the professional IT person?
Okay, seriously, let's go here.
Professional.
Who only needs 2 jiggles?
There's a lot of drips.
You need more than 2 jiggles, especially when you get older.
Yeah.
My thought is
Right, Kristy?
This is an incredibly relatable topic to me, and
Right,
I am not
Kristy?
zoning out
Kristy,
and
you know,
distracted by anything
How much
else.
do you jiggle your penis?
So much.
Here's the deal.
So-
the point at which your bladder cuts off, and then you have the whole length of the urethra after that, and it's vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more urine in there.
So Chris got to overshare last time. I'm going to overshare right
nice.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great. Please take the spotlight off of me.
I am not circumcised.
Right.
So
This we are aware.
So needing several jiggles is a necessity for me
course,
because
yeah.
because that traps your fucking piss around your dickhead.
Right.
And so you need to
you kind of gotta wiggle it all around.
Right.
yeah.
You gotta break
And that's
the
what
seal.
it's all about.
And that's what it's all about.
You put your dick head in, you pull your dick head out. You put your dick head in, and you shake it all about.
You take a little pissy and you pull your foreskin back.
It's the
what
pissy
it's
pokey.
all about.
For some reason, I was gonna say you take an aluminum rod about this long, and you
no.
push it right.
But you start small and then you
Oh,
work your
God.
way up.
No, pipe cleaner. Just get all of that just out of there.
No.
the thought. Oh,
You put your foreskin in, 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 you put your foreskin in. Anyway,
So I
point,
was
it's
just
like an
excited
eight
I
skin.
didn't have to take a piss test today at my doctor's appointment
yeah,
because I did last time.
not that there's really a reason for you to be dreading a piss test other than it means pissing in a cup.
It means pissing all over my hands.
Yeah, right, I was
Because
gonna say-
it's impossible to take a piss test as a woman.
exponentially harder for you.
Right.
I'm bad at it. You can't aim as a woman.
No.
You can't do it. Sometimes
Right.
I'm just like sit down for a normal pee and then I'm bathing the back of my legs in piss because it decided to take a weird turn.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
it's not.
I didn't do anything different.
It's still a cup that you have to be. It's not like a bag that you could just like.
No, they give you the same cup that they give a man, and then I have to hover it under
Yeah,
me and
that's-
guess where my urethra is. And I'm also fat, and this makes things even more
Guessy
complicated.
urethra port.
Man, I'm
and then
so
you
glad.
have to like you start peeing, and you have to listen for the sound and be like,
That's it.
that's getting in there. Oh,
That's
no,
my piss."
I felt that drip.
There
And then
it
you
is.
have to hand someone a pissy cup.
Yeah, right.
That
Right.
I have done my best to clean in the sink, but
But the big problem is there's often a paper label. So that
Yes.
paper label is
Yeah.
covered in piss.
Yeah, my trick is you have to write your name on the top. You wait until after you piss, dry it the best you can, and then write it. You don't want to give away that you pissed on it.
You don't want a smudgy piss signature.
Yeah, you gotta and then clean it up the best you can.
To get your pissy John Hancock on this place.
But I did not have to do that today.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional or they just forgot, but I do not care.
I have a sampler here for a Carlos Dove plat.
for Carlos Dumplat.
I'm so glad I'm not the one oversharing
Carlos
this week.
Dumplat, this is for you. I gift you my piss.
I like the idea that you go to the doctor and they give you some piss. Like, all right, Kristy, here's your sample. We already got it made for you.
Well, I was
I know.
being the nurse bringing it to
nurse.
the lab.
I know. Just for
But
some
Dave's
reason,
idea is funnier.
show up and oh, good, my piss. Thank you.
I'm so glad you
I
gave
donated
me
this
my
last time.
How did you get this?
Yeah, just like
Is this your piss? Wow!
Wow.
just like
The
when
new
you
game show, Is This Your Piss?
when you hand the piss to the nurse, just say, "I'm gonna be wanting that back before I leave."
Yeah.
Right. And next time I'm back
I only have
here,
so much. Limited quantities.
I will
Liquid
absolutely
gold, that
make
is.
that joke the next time. I have to read the room, but I'm gonna see if I can
Hey,
get away
listen,
with it.
when you're done with this,
I'm gonna need that
I'd
back.
like it back.
I recycle my piss.
Right.
So I don't lose any of my essence.
I got a Gatorade jug in the car that I'm keeping this in. So
I like to cleanse my face with that, so when you're done
I
with it.
need that back.
I told you before, pee in your hand, then pour it into the cup.
No, because then it runs through your fingers.
Right. Win-win.
But then there's not enough piss. You got to get the piss up to the
you gotta
line.
do
The
several
real
times.
solution is to invest in a shiwi.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the shiwis.
The shiwi, the sheenas, the lady urinal.
Can you?
All these are
just,
options.
Just pee into a crazy straw.
Yeah. Just sound it into
An
yourself.
even more narrow opening than a cup. Yes, it's
The
great.
notion of pushing a crazy straw up into your body.
Up into your
Urethra.
urethra.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I will
right, now
bring a
around the corner.
collapsible funnel with me next time.
Got the tip of it in. Now I got to go around the bend. All right, there we go.
Hey,
And
Kristy,
it's
you
in.
ready for your piss test? Oh, yeah, I brought my funnel.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
It's a
idea.
large kitchen funnel.
Just sit on it.
Piping bag.
I can make
All right.
it decorated.
And then just into the cup.
yeah,
Let me
perfect.
add some thickener to my pee,
Yeah.
and I'll just...
I made a roux beforehand, so we're okay.
I'll decorate
This is one of the
cup
4
for
mother
you.
sauces.
Piss roux.
Made using the old French technique.
Piss Jamel.
A tasty
Oh,
piss
isn't that the
bechamel.
actress's name? Zoe Pichemel.
That's where that comes from. Ew.
Are you guys ready to play a game?
Yeah. Whatever. Just picturing steaming hot piss.
Keep picturing it, baby.
I prefer not to.
We're going to play
I know what it is.
Trues and Fnooz.
It's time for Trues and Fnooz. You mean to tell me?
Brand new game. Brand new
Everybody's
game.
playing.
Famous game. The
famous
famous
game?
game.
A Merv Griffin production.
Hey, we've got it down, everybody.
Great.
That was pretty
That was
terrible.
good. Yeah, we've got it down.
But we got the middle and end part.
Yeah.
I think everyone who listens to this podcast knows that the game originated on
Yeah.
our other podcast, Goose Chase. But
Yeah, by now. Yeah, I think this is like our third or fourth
Leave it,
Trues and
Leroy.
Fnooz here. So, Kristy,
Yeah.
explain the rules, would you please?
I
right.
would be glad to.
Sure.
Would you kindly?
Trues and Fnooz. Stop growling.
Oh my god.
Trues and Fnooz is a game, a fun little game. Oh my god, you can't do that.
you gotta speed it, speed
Trues
it
and
up.
Fnooz is a game, a fun little game, an internet game that is sweeping the nation.
go
It's a
faster.
mass sensation in which I will give you 2 false news stories, one true
true.
news stories, the truth, the Fnooz, and you gotta tell me which is which.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I struggle. I had to close my eyes.
Dope.
You did because the last time I had to do it, I couldn't remember how many of each.
I always panic and forget how many.
Yeah.
Every single time. But we've only done it like over 100 times.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
Are
There's
you
a,
ready, motherfucker?
There's a theme, and let's
shit.
see if you can figure
Is it,
out what
I
it
hope
is.
it's piss.
Boy, I hope it's piss.
Definitely piss. No.
Trues, Fnooz, and piss.
All right. Here we go.
Here
we go.
Yeah, right.
Here we go.
Order up the Chum Bucket Breakfast at the North Myrtle Beach Waffle House for all-you-can-eat fried fish and waffles.
Okay.
Is that? Okay.
I guess it's a news story about how
Yeah.
you can get the chum bucket. All right.
Chum bucket.
All right, second. Are we doing this right? Japanese restaurant Cho Oishi offers Friday fish cocktail special for Lent.
Okay.
Wait, offers what now?
Fish cocktail special.
Friday fish cocktail special for Lent.
Okay.
God, that feels
Third?
real to me.
Yeah.
Taiwan official urges people to stop changing their name to salmon.
To stop changing their name to salmon.
Yes.
As-
You want the recap?
Yeah.
100% I do. The theme is fish, right? It's fish.
Yes.
No, the theme is piss.
Piss fish. In honor
is
of
China?
the Lenten season.
Uh-huh.
So number one again. Speaking of,
Yeah.
Wink.
order up the Chum Bucket Breakfast at the North Myrtle Beach Waffle House for all you can eat fried fish and waffles.
Boy, that sounds good.
It does actually.
Number two. Are we doing this right? Japanese restaurant Cho Oishi offers Friday fish cocktail special for Lent. Number three. Taiwan official urges people to stop changing their name to salmon.
I really want the third one to be the true one.
Same.
That's odd.
Is it spelled salmon? SALMON?
Like the fish.
I think I know my answer, but I'm curious what you guys think.
My gut tells me it's the second one.
Okay.
My gut tells me it's the second one, but I feel like I don't know. Well, the psychology of this game is like you got to get in your head a little
Yeah.
bit.
What exactly do you mean by fit? Do you mean like fish cocktail, as in like
Like a
like
alcoholic beverage.
Yes.
Like a-
like
yeah, like
fish
a-
sauce drink. Fish sauce based beverage.
Okay, see, I was picturing in my head like cocktail shrimp.
No,
like a drink.
Like a cocktail drink.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the first one because I don't think Waffle House is a national chain, and I don't think they would allow that
She
on the
didn't say
menu.
Waffle House, did she?
She did
Yes.
say Waffle House.
It is
Yeah.
Waffle House. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and Chum Bucket has to be copyrighted by Viacom.
Yeah, I would think so.
Really?
Yeah, SpongeBob.
It's Plankton's restaurant SpongeBob. Nickelodeon
but
is
it's-
owned by Viacom.
But it's also just a thing.
Doesn't matter.
It's still something they could feasibly sue Waffle House over
Yeah.
unless they have some kind of cross promotion deal going.
Right. America, dude.
The second one is, I think it's the second one because I know Japanese food and I know how much the Japanese love seafood, and I think what blending up a fish or using fish
The
sauce
Bassomatic.
to make an alcoholic cocktail, I don't think is something. I don't think is something that a Japanese restaurant would do. Can you at least tell me?
Well, it's two false stories, one true.
Right.
So you're choosing the true one.
Yeah, you're picking the true.
right. So I don't think it's.
You don't think it's that one.
I think it's the third one.
I do too.
People changing their name to salmon.
I do too.
Yeah, I think that because it sounds like there's a story behind that
Yeah.
one.
I also think that's the one that you wouldn't make up, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think the second one is thrown in there to give us something to ponder. I think the first one isn't possible because of Waffle House and Viacom.
Waffle House.
Like all good things in life. Not possible because of Waffle House and Viacom. They ruin everything.
How many things have been squandered by
but what
Waffle
if-
House intersecting with Viacom?
Yeah, what if it is true? Strange bedfellows.
I think it's number 3.
I sort of do too.
Is this unanimous? Do
Yeah,
the vote?
I think it's one of these things we're either all right together or all wrong together.
We're saying number 3.
I think so.
That's the true
so.
one.
You bastards. You're
Yes! Woo!
You want
Awesome.
this story?
I
Let's
would
do
love
it.
to know why the hell people are changing their name to Salmon.
So, there was a restaurant promotion
Oh my god.
in which if you changed a part of your name to Salmon, like it legally changed your name so it included the words for salmon,
Yeah.
you would be able to get like all you can eat dinner with 5 of your friends or something. So people were changing their name to Salmon, and in there you can make a legal name change up to like 3 times.
Oh.
So that's the reason a lot of people, especially it was mostly young people, were doing it because they're like, we'll just change it back afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah.
But one of the Taiwanese officials in charge of this is like, this is needless and making our lives more difficult.
Of course,
and then
yeah.
we'll have to like change it back afterwards. And this is not the point of you having this right. And obviously urging people not to change their name to
I
Salmon.
gotta say, I wholeheartedly agree with that bureaucracy. It makes perfect sense.
Right.
But yeah, he said this kind of name change not only wastes time but causes unnecessary paperwork. And he urged the public to cherish administrative resources, which I gotta tell you is not an argument that I give a fuck about. And he says, I hope people can be more rational about it. But I want to talk about some of the names that people have chosen
Hell yeah.
because they're amazing.
Sure.
Like the name that it's Bao Cheng Guiyu, which translates roughly to explosive good-looking salmon. A couple people changed their first name to just Salmon, and they said they'll change their names back afterwards.
Right.
Another
classic.
one translates to Salmon Prince. There's one that's Meteor Salmon King
That's pretty rad.
and Salmon Fried Rice.
Sure.
Wait, so I'm wondering how much of their name they changed for that one.
I don't know if they changed their whole name to that or they just like added it to their name. It doesn't say.
Wow.
There is this little tidbit says the United Daily News reported that one resident decided to add a record 36 new characters to his name, most of them seafood themed, including the characters for is it abalone or abalone?
Abalone?
It's abalone, I think.
Crab and lobster.
Bizarro baloney.
36 characters he added to his name.
Yes, all seafood related.
If I'm not mistaken, I think most Chinese names are 3 characters.
Huh.
Yeah.
Also, this is apparently salmon in Mandarin Chinese.
三文鱼
Sanwenyu.
Sanguine.
Menu.
Sanwenyu.
We're doing a Japanese accent.
I know. Oh,
The thing is, in it's a tonal language, so the intonation is important. Sanwenyu.
I'm never going to wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
Chinese is fucking difficult. I tried once, never again. You don't even have the benefit of like a phonetic alphabet like you do in Japanese.
Yeah.
So the goal of the contest, the promotion was the person's name. They had to have an ID card that contained GUI space YU. So however you pronounce Guiyu.
Guiyu.
So the which were the Chinese characters for salmon, according to this article.
I'm going to say this right now. I would absolutely change my name to Salmon if we could all get unlimited salmon. Absolutely do it.
What's the restaurant that if you get the Melt, if
Yeah.
you get a grilled cheese tattoo, then or like one of their approved ones, you
Yeah.
get like a discount for life.
Yeah.
And I've considered it. If I lived closer to one, I would already have that tattoo.
Melt is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah. We have a Permani Brothers in town. Why don't we have a Melt here?
Yeah, that's a
we
good
should.
question.
For God's sakes.
Or
They're
a
much,
Sonic,
much
for the
smaller.
love of God.
Sonic.
Where is my Sonic?
We need a Sonic.
We need to bring Sonic Watch onto the table.
Why the hell is there only one and it's all the way out in Streetsboro?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I haven't driven there specifically to get Sonic.
I just want the good ice.
I just want the good.
I'd like a cup of ice, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and also 5
Yeah, like
bacon cheeseburgers,
like 5 cheeseburgers
And, like,
and
an
a bag
order-
to put over my head, please.
like a chili cheese tots. And can I get like a blast? Like a
You're making me want to drive there right now.
I know, dude. I fucking love Sonic.
I haven't had Sonic in a long time.
Welcome to Sonic. Would you like a fucking beast burger?
Please, I just want to see my family again.
Chicken nuggets.
So anyway,
Bees Churger. Bees. Oh yeah, so you're doing the topic this week, right, Ben?
I am doing the topic. And
You're good. I felt my belly twitch.
Oh,
Everything's
okay.
fine.
Is it our baby?
Everyone looked at me like I was having a heart attack.
Yeah, well, you went like that.
Is it our baby kicking?
Yes, it is.
I thought we were about to get your Hall of Fame fart for the Dudecast, so I wanted to give it breath.
Right. Wait, as if I was gonna fart, I would lean back and hold my
Lean
belly
back. Why not?
and then fart loudly. Fair enough.
so this was actually this one actually didn't take me too much time to come up with. I've been
Awful sound.
Sorry.
I condemn you.
Swishing.
Go ahead.
Oh my god.
so as you guys know, I have finally gotten through. Well, I make it sound like it was a struggle. I finally watched through season 1 of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, and I went looking, have we ever discussed law on this show? And we have not.
I don't think we have.
We've discussed crime.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about law and laws and the order which may or may not be involved.
Interesting. Dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun. We can't do this topic without talking about Law and Order.
Right, of course.
Ice-T famously snubbed at the Emmys.
Really?
Yeah. No.
I was like, was he really up for
Yeah.
a fucking Emmy or?
No. No, of course not. I don't think you've ever seen him. He's terrible.
That's what I was thinking.
No, he's awful.
He's just got one note, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, it's me, Ice-T.
It's usually just
Yeah, it's me, Ice-T.
every line.
I'm a
I love-
detective now.
I love the guy that did
You go with
fuck the police, keeps taking like police roles.
Yeah, I know. Right?
It's-
cop killer.
He's
Yeah.
also in the movie Tank Girl. And he plays a genetically mutated kangaroo human hybrid who was formerly a police officer when he was a human.
You know,
Of course he is.
you gotta act what you know.
It's relatable.
That's really just. I mean, he draws from experience
Yeah.
to be a
And I gotta
mutated
say,
kangaroo
he's
person.
great in that movie. He takes it really seriously.
We've never talked about law.
Yeah.
The law.
And unfortunately, I don't really know how to kick this conversation off.
Betrayed the law.
I do know that today, if it wasn't today, then it was yesterday. They passed that law in Georgia that bans
Oh,
people
God.
from giving people in line to vote. Keeps them from giving them water.
Just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's,
Like, how petty do you get?
it's very clearly unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Is it gonna get overturned? Is that what you're telling me?
I sure it fucking better be.
How can the law stop you from handing someone a bottle of water?
It is.
Well, water is commoditized now.
It is true. It's owned by Nestle, trademark.
It also here's the like everyone's outraged over that obviously, but there are a lot of people that are urging us to remember the most horrifying part of the bill, which is that the Georgia state legislature can overturn election results if they deem it necessary.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. And that more than anything is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
That's a clear violation of people's right to vote.
Sure. And that would be an occasion for me to drive to Georgia and start flipping trash cans.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's time
That's a fire on the courthouse steps scenario.
yeah, we definitely gotta bring General Sherman back from the grave.
Yep.
Give him a crate of whiskey and send him to burn Atlanta to the ground all over again.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't be super concerned if this happened in Vermont.
Yeah.
But Georgia. Georgia, who was super consequential in this last election, and no one didn't like that.
And is a blue state currently.
Yeah, for the moment.
Well, okay, their governor is Republican, but that's a whole other separate thing. But yeah, 2 Democrat senators. State went
that warlock.
State went Democrat.
That's right. Yeah, Gabriel Warlock.
The wizard. These Georgia. I forgot about the warlock for a minute.
Jack Ossoff
Yeah.
being the other one. No,
Did he win? I forget.
yeah, both of them won.
Ossoff won.
Yeah, both Georgia seats in the Senate are blue currently.
Jack Ossoff and his sister Jill Mehoff.
Oh my god.
No, so
Can I side addendum here? I hate that phrase.
What, jilling off?
Jilling.
I don't think I
Jilling
like
off.
it either.
I think it's funny. I don't mind
I like it better than flicking the bean.
Flicking
Oh,
the
yeah.
bean. Give that bean a little
See,
flick.
you don't seem to mind flicking the
No,
bean.
I like flicking the bean. It's
No.
cute.
Chris,
I'm gonna
I
stop
don't mind
doing that.
flicking the bean, Brady.
petting the kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of unsavory euphemisms for masturbation right there.
Rubbing my vagina.
I'm gonna, take a little me time and rub my vagina, if you know what I'm talking about.
Lick the old lips. Spelunking.
Whistling through the wheat field.
Tiptoeing
I've never
through the
heard that
tulips.
one.
No one. I don't think anyone has. You're the only
Bushwhacking.
person I've
Really?
ever heard say that.
Whistling through the wheat field?
Yes.
Yodeling in the valley?
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Am I just from like 1960 or?
I think
Going
you
through
are.
the tulips?
He already said that. I just
yeah.
sang it.
So that's what he was talking
Yeah.
about.
Fingers.
That's where I'll be. What happened to that guy?
Tiny Tim?
Yeah.
Oh, he killed a bunch of people and ended up in jail.
I knew as soon as I asked that question.
I'm serious. He's like a murderer.
No, he didn't.
No, he really did.
You're doing that thing.
I'm not doing that thing. The dude.
Tiny Tim didn't kill anyone.
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna Google this.
Okay,
You're
fine.
full of shit.
I'm not full of shit.
If you're listening, go ahead and Google this.
No, I'm
I'm
telling you.
Googling it.
He absolutely did.
So anyway.
he did not. Stop it.
So anyway.
I'm not doing that right
He
now.
didn't. He had a long career and then he died.
Right.
Yeah, he was inducted into some like music hall of fame.
Does it like
Definitely
douchebag
didn't.
Hall of Fame?
Definitely didn't butcher anybody.
The ukulele Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
clearly.
This year's douchebag Hall of Fame nominees are
Tiny Tim.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. What did you do?
Oh, so here's a fun fact about the law that I wanted to bring up, given the opportunity on the show.
talk about the law. I'm dying to talk about the law here.
I do happen to be an expert in bird law. So this is something, just in case there are listeners of this program that are not aware of this, there exists built into our legal system the concept of jury nullification. Do you guys know about this?
Nullification?
Yeah, jury nullification. This is something a jury is able to do. I advise you, if you're selected for a jury, not to bring it up, because courts hate when you use this.
Oh God! Like it's like one of those things. If you know about it, they're like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
get him out!
it's
out of
it's
here."
one of those things where if it's blatant enough that you're using it, because you don't have to. If you're a juror, you don't have to. Like if you're the jury foreman, you don't have to give the reason for why you decided on the verdict.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if the prosecution thinks you're doing it, they'll probably move for a mistrial.
Okay.
And depending on the judge, there's a whole lot of ramifications for this, but this is something a jury is legally allowed to do. Let's say there's a guy who's been brought in for one charge, and it's felony marijuana possession.
Okay.
You and the 12 other jurors sit through the trial. There is incontrovertible proof that this guy had like 100 pounds of marijuana or something.
Yeah.
Whatever qualifies as felony possession.
Probably a lot less than that.
It's like an over 20 sack.
Okay.
this is like felony.
So let's just say he had a bunch like hidden under a false back seat in his car.
Yeah.
Felony marijuana possession. You and the 12 jurors go back and you all reach the conclusion that yes, he's guilty of felony possession, but we think this law is stupid, so we're going to acquit him.
Oh,
You're totally allowed to do if you and the jury come to the decision that you don't agree with the law itself, you can totally just say not guilty and acquit the guy.
No shit.
Yeah.
really cool.
Too legit to acquit.
Now you can understand why courts hate this.
Of course,
They're looking to prosecute.
sure.
Courts hate this.
Courts hate this.
And one
trick
little
to get you
secret you
off.
should know as a juror.
And there's incontrovertible proof that the guy did this. The prosecution has a slam dunk case.
Yeah.
But if the jury doesn't agree with the law, they can vote for a verdict of not guilty and deliver one. They don't have to say why.
Yeah.
But you can totally do that if the jury does not agree with the law that's being broken.
I think that's rad.
Jury.
Yeah.
But I understand why our system doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But
So
You don't have to say anything. You could just deliver a not guilty verdict.
Yeah,
There's nothing
We
especially
the
that-
jury find on the count of
on the
one
grounds of none of your business.
on the charge of one count of felony possession of marijuana, find the defendant not guilty. End of story.
Yeah.
Now the prosecution might go up to the judge and say, "I want to declare a mistrial because this jury is clearly fucking with us."
Yeah. You fucking with me. That's why.
So it's something. Yeah, the courts will definitely try. And again, if you're being interviewed for the jury process, you do not want to mention that you know this. They will disqualify you right off the bat.
unless you want to be disqualified,
Right.
and by all
Yeah.
means, then do it.
Yeah, the easiest way to be disqualified is just to say, "Listen, I hate the police, so no matter what evidence you show me, I'm voting this guy not guilty."
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to get disqualified from jury.
yeah.
Basically, because, well, I don't know about now since I've been out of school for a long time, but if I had gotten a job in what I went to college for, which who does that anymore?
Yeah. Oof.
I went to school for forensic science, so you almost automatically get disqualified if you're like very well educated in it, because they don't actually want you to know anything about how it
Exactly.
They
works.
want you to be a regular person who doesn't
Yeah.
know the workings of the system.
Right.
They're counting on you to basically be persuadable one way or the other without all
Right.
that foreknowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that concept called? You said null jury?
Jury nullification,
Nullification.
I'm pretty sure is what it's called.
Jury nullification.
That's actually really interesting. I mean, I guess I kind of like the idea. What I don't like is just the flip side of that. Like,
Jurors cannot be punished for reaching a quote unquote wrong decision.
well, yeah, because that's the thing is, how would you even enforce the alternative?
A defendant
Right.
who is acquitted cannot, in many jurisdictions, be tried a second time for the same. Yeah, double jeopardy.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, if you and the 11 other people you're with think that the law being broken shouldn't even exist, I
Which the
pick
thing is,
marijuana
how
because
often
it's
does
the
that
most.
happen? Because how often is a room full of, people going to
Agree on
agree
that.
that something is
Right.
that the law is stupid?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. I think I'd have to read up on it again, but I think there have been one or two instances where jury nullification has been used for something like a murder trial because they felt that the defendant was perfectly justified.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably one of those things where a woman's husband is beating the shit out of her, and then she one day
I would acquit-
legitimately snaps. It's
I
like,
would
all right,
Yeah.
So you don't even have to say jury. No, you just say we find them not guilty, and you don't have to give a reason at all.
You don't have to give a reason to the court. You don't have to give a reason to the public. That's part of the sacred thing about being a juror. Everything that you discuss stays in that room.
Right.
that's pretty wild.
You don't have to.
Actually, I'm up for jury duty, and I'm glad you brought that up because I have to turn in my shit for it.
How do you find? Do they mail you?
Yeah.
because I've never gotten
Really?
I got
I got a
I
couple
never
of them.
have.
I got one in college, and this was shortly after my false arrest that you may recall. And I was still really angry at the legal system at that point in time. But my dad made the really good point and said, you know, if you go in, you have a say in the legal system.
Absolutely.
You know, you can do something about it. I'm like, you know what, you're right. And then I was waiting for the call they never called. I guess the case was dropped or something, so I didn't end up going in.
I have a really funny jury duty story from my dad. So years and years and years ago, he got called in for jury duty. So like they were doing the process of deciding what jurors they're going to keep. And they ask you all kinds of questions. So they have like the first half of the day. And he made it through that half. And then they're like, okay, it's like 30-minute lunch break. Go out, whatever. And so or maybe it was a little longer lunch break. It storytelling with my dad, it changes. But he goes out on his lunch break and gets his food, and then he's on his way back, and someone hits him when he's driving back. He gets in a car accident.
Oh, God.
And he's like, the police come and everything, and he's like, I'm in jury duty. Like, we need to wrap this up. I'm on my lunch break. Yeah. So they're like, okay, they clear it up as quickly as they can, and he goes back and gets there in time. And then it turns out that the case that they're going to be jurors for is a car accident. And they're like, have any of you been in like a car accident where you weren't at the one at fault, like where it was someone else's fault? And my dad's like, a couple of people raised their hands. My dad was like, yeah. And they're like, when? He's like, just now. And they're like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, on my lunch break. And they're like, wait, no, what? And he's like, yeah, I was just in a car accident on the break. And they're like, and they still made him be a juror.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I've never been called for one of those things. And I kind of, a part of me really wants to do it.
I wouldn't mind being given a shot at it.
Me either. Yeah, I have to turn mine in. The last time I got called for jury duty, I was late turning in my documentation to the court. And I guess they had a bunch of people who skipped out on it.
Oh shit!
So I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot about that, And I went up to the courthouse as soon as I did. I was like 3 or 4 days late. And I'm like, I personally, rather than mail it, I hand walked it into the registrar's office, and I'm like, hey, I totally forgot about this. I set it aside and then just never finished it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I'm late, but I wanted to put this in. And the woman at the counter was like genuinely perplexed that I actually showed up to like.
That's not how that usually works.
Well, like,
that's how seriously people take this shit in Youngstown.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She was like genuinely perplexed that someone cared enough to show up and like, instead of just being like, fuck it, whatever. I'm like, I'm so sorry here. And she's like, you filled this out and brought it in? I'm like, yeah, I like I said, I forgot and I didn't want to put it in the mail. I wanted to make sure you guys got it right away.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, honey, don't worry about it. She like wrote my name. I saw her like type my name in the computer. And then as I was walking away, I watched her ball it up and Kobe it into the trash can. So she like marked me as good and then was like, whatever, fuck it, he's fine.
Man, by Youngstown standards, that basically makes you a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, go ahead.
You don't even need to pass the bar. You just like, if you file your court documents on time.
See you on Monday, honey.
Yeah, she's like, don't worry about it, sweetie. She's just like, he's fine.
How'd you like to do some PD work on Fridays for a couple extra bucks?
Right.
So I went to school for forensic science, and I had to do a couple internships. And I did one with the Youngstown Police Department. Gotta tell you. Fantastic, super professional.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
No problems there.
Yeah.
But they have, this isn't strictly related, but it made me laugh. Speaking of like not very professional people who work for Youngstown, there's like a security guy in the front when you walk into the police department. And the first couple times I walked in, there'd be different security every time. But the one guy in particular, he's like, I'm going to search you because it's the ones you least suspect that are the ones who are going to have like a bomb strapped to them. And I'm like,
you should have.
Yeah, I mean, do your job. I don't care. So
shit, you should have just ran away.
I mean, all the other ones would just be like, yeah, like you go on through. You're clearly harmless.
I have to go back outside and pee.
This is fucking Heaven's Gate in port.
So he like does the the whatever search that he does, which is like not extensive.
Yeah.
And then the next time I go and he's there, he's like, I know you now, you're good. And I'm like, If I was going to strap a bond on myself, this is exactly what I would do. I would
Right.
lull you into false sense of security, and then the next time I would put the bond on my chest.
That's how people get guns into federal buildings.
Like, you
and
have
shit.
to search me every time.
Yeah.
Like, this is how they're going to get you.
Yeah.
You got to remember, these are the same people that let a convicted murderer and child molester escape and jump off the balcony.
Of the courthouse.
Yeah.
Which we talked about on this podcast.
That fellow whose last name was Seaman.
Yeah.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
I knew people. I worked with
SEMAN.
people who were going to be called in to testify.
Yeah.
because he had set the
house on fire.
witness's house on fire.
Yeah.
And had burns on his hand and was asking someone at a convenience store
right, for
the best thing to put on the burns, not to heal them, but to cover them up.
Not the smartest fucking guy.
And so they were potentially going to be called in to testify.
Let's find the video of that
And,
fat fuck jumping.
oh yeah,
up.
there's video
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Pisses me off that he took the chicken shit way
Yeah,
out. And
he
that,
really should have fried.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Plus, he left a semen stain on the floor of the courthouse.
like, ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Zing.
They had to have someone mop that up.
Oh man, yeah, he was a big fucker too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
You know, he made it. Here it is.
real
Yeah.
fat fuck.
Robert Seaman.
Yeah, no, that splatter had to be a good like 10 feet in diameter.
Here we
Jesus
go.
Christ.
There we go.
No, please tell me we're not going to see him land.
no, you
you
don't.
don't
You just see him go over.
Jump. Yeah, he
That's
turns
what I
and jumps.
thought.
And you see the
Jesus.
police who were escorting him like
Yeah.
chase after him and be like,
Well,
"Oh fuck!"
The one cop is just standing there like, yeah, that just happened.
Good,
Yeah.
good job, numbnuts.
Oh, my God.
You,
Like, why was he not?
you let the
attached to
pedophile
you?
kill himself.
Yeah. Damn.
You let him. You
Huge
let him
bummer.
take the chicken shit way
I
out.
wish we had the footage from the ground.
That's dark.
Yeah, it's
Even for
just
us.
just like that dude's head and scanners. Just
yeah. Ugh.
So,
fucking.
go ahead.
Sorry. No.
Sorry, I was
I'm very interrupty tonight. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say. You say he should fry. I say he should have spent the rest of his life in prison. However short that might be, because prisoners do not like child
molesters,
rape,
which is why he jumped off the balcony.
Right.
Especially in
I
Youngstown.
thought you were going to say prisoners do not like prison.
So I
That's true.
Yeah.
But also
he should have gone to prison because you know what prisoners
but
hate?
I was gonna
Prison
say
in prison.
I was gonna say I bring that up because I would like the conversation about capital punishment to come up at some point.
yeah, we should.
But anyway,
sorry. Go ahead.
uh,
Go ahead, Christy.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. I was briefly. I know someone who worked as a CO, and they had a transfer come in from this dude. Got bumped around all sorts of prisons in the U.S. And he worked in. He was responsible for a lot of maximum security guys. And this guy's MO is that he killed child molesters. Like that's what he went
in
to
prison?
That's what he went to jail for. And then when he went to jail, he would do it again as soon as he found out who the child molesters are.
sounds great.
He's like, I'm in here forever.
So
I'm just gonna do
he's-
this.
So he was basically on, like they had to transfer him. The facility that he was at, he killed a child molester. So they moved him to the facility that this guy worked
And they
at.
didn't give him a medal.
No, they.
They don't do that weirdly.
But he said the first time he met him, the guy was like an older gentleman. He was like super nice. I'm calling him a gentleman because
was gonna say.
I respect killing child molesters. I'm going to take that stance. Fuck child molesters.
Right, but gentleman still might not be the
Don't
right
care.
word.
Yeah, but he said like
Gentleman.
They had some new guy who was convicted of like child molestation come in, and the guy they were like taking him from his maximum security wing to like mess basically for lunch, and he was talking with him, and he's like, so that new guy who came in, what is he in for? Oh
my God.
And like the dude is the CO is like, we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I heard it was for child molestation. I don't like that. And he's like, I know you don't.
Jesus Christ.
He said something like, don't do it on my watch. Like, please don't do it on my watch if you're going to do anything.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, shit. If he's in there for life, you might as well have a fucking hobby, I guess.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's say let's drink to that guy.
Some guys read, some guys take up painting, some guys murder child molesters.
Hey, if you're there forever, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure the next time was just shank, and then just drop
Shank.
on his knees,
Shank,
hands
shank,
behind
shank.
his head,
Kill
like,
that
okay, guys, I know the
pedo.
routine.
Kill that pedo.
I know the routine. Caught you guys not looking.
Yep. Sorry.
Swiper, no swiping.
Yep.
Don't do a murder.
So here's the problem with that is everyone has very strong convictions, and then if you like endorse anyone, sure, yes, child molesters the worst, but if you endorse anyone just like continuing to murder people that they have very strong convictions are wrong, then you get like Nazis in prison, like thinking that they're just as justified in doing
Well,
it.
we already have that, unfortunately.
I mean, you do, but there's not a general mindset of, if you're there anyway, and you're not going anywhere, just kill away.
Kill away.
What I say is if you endorse it for some, then you have to accept it for all.
Kill away and
Kill everybody.
Mauna Kilauea.
God, I have this like irrational fear of ending up in prison.
Really?
Yeah, like
Why?
I'm not gonna do
You're
anything
not.
that puts me in
Right.
jail.
You're not going to do anything that's.
But I have an irrational fear.
unless you like accidentally run over a family.
right, that's the
Leave
thing
it, Leroy.
is, lots of accidents, lead people to jail.
There are plenty of people who have never done anything that would put them in jail and are in jail anyway.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Leroy, you
Come here, Leroy.
God damn it. I don't know what. Fuck. This dog.
You good, bro?
No.
You just didn't like the leaning over.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's. God. What the hell
It's
were we
okay.
talking about?
We're talking about you going to jail.
Yeah, right. I don't
But
wanna
like,
go to
I'm just
jail.
saying, like, if you accidentally run over a Korean family,
Why? Why?
say accidentally.
See, the thing is, lots of people do shit and accidentally. Oops! Now I'm. going
Oops,
to
I
jail.
killed a Korean family of three.
Oops, I
Right.
did it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oops,
That shit
I
happens.
did it again. I killed this Korean family.
God damn it!
I'm like, I'm just saying it's possible that
Right.
you would accidentally do that. Like,
I
fall asleep at the wheel and then jerk it over to the right.
Oops! I went through a farmer's market and killed 13 people.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah. A Korean farmer's market.
Oh my gosh.
Specifically, the Korean market.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I fucking hate kimchi.
Oh my God. I don't know. Things happen.
Yeah.
Leroy,
Sorry.
leave it.
Oh God. Good. Leave people alone.
So back to child molesting. Let's,
God damn it.
that guy was a fat piece of shit.
Yeah, I really don't know anything about the guy's case except that. I mean,
he raped his daughter, and then when
Jesus.
the daughter was living with the grandparents while he was on trial, he posted bond, which is stupid. Bail shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, there should be no monetary amount on how to get out of jail.
Yeah,
he
right.
set the grandparents' house on fire and killed them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that you pay enough money to not have to sit there.
Capitalism.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, and bail for the same crimes are generally higher for minorities than they are for white
Naturally,
people.
yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Well, it's like one of these discretionary things, right? Where the judge just kind of decides.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous
Yeah.
to me.
So
Well, you wanted to talk about capital punishment, yeah?
I did. I wanted to mention first your comment that prisoners don't like prison.
They're not fond of it.
Nah, that's what I hear. In Germany, there is a law that says that if you attempt escape from prison, or if you successfully escape from prison and are then caught, you won't be punished for it because it's natural human desire to not want to be in prison.
Oh, okay.
They don't blame you for it as long as you don't hurt anyone
Yeah.
somehow
In the
on the way.
process.
So they don't
Yeah,
punish you.
you'll
for
be
trying to
punished
get
for
out of
any
jail?
crimes that you do in doing
these-
it, but not
yeah.
Not
in
in-
trying to get out.
Yeah, not in Germany. They don't, of all places.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. They probably want to brush that under the rug.
gotta have a
bad
checkered-
track record
They have
with
a
that.
checkered history of people not wanting to be places that they put people.
Yeah.
Very harmonic.
Making a shepherd's tone. So anyway, No,
the
yeah,
audience.
capital punishment. I'm entirely against capital punishment.
Are you? I'm not.
So let me tell you why I'm completely against it. First of all, I don't think that a government should have any say in who gets to live and who gets to die, especially when it's one person ultimately deciding what the sentence is going to be. And you can appeal or what have you. How successful that will be is dependent again on the judge who's listening.
Yeah.
Number two, we have sent innocent people to die before, and there's no reason to think that there are more we don't know about, and that there aren't more that will come in the future.
Yeah.
Right.
There are likely innocent people sitting on death row right now.
Yeah.
There are
But what about
projects in place strictly because this is a thing that happens regularly enough.
Yeah.
That there are nonprofit organizations whose sole purpose is to help people who shouldn't be imprisoned and are.
Yeah, I believe it should be used in extreme cases where there's more than, like, say, 2 credible witnesses, or like the person admits to, like, if it's some horrible crime,
They don't try to hide it. They're remorseless about it.
right?
Even then, I think killing them is giving them the chicken shit way out.
I agree.
But what if you're like the executive that decided that the McDouble should go from like $1 to $1.50 per sandwich?
Yeah, with a sad piece of bacon on it, which I didn't care for.
No, wasn't worth mentioning.
Well, for
Poor
him,
promotion.
transfer his consciousness into some kind of mainframe.
Yeah.
And set it so that his perception of time is like really like slowed down, so that like 1 second is a year for him.
Okay. Right, like a stasis chamber for people that decide that the McDouble should be $1.50. Okay, fair.
I say, why waste the money on keeping someone in prison if there's a credible, do you know what I mean?
But
Right.
it's actually more expensive to execute someone than it is to keep them in prison for life.
Really?
It is.
Far.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Believe it or not.
And part of the reason is the extensive cost of appeal after appeal after appeal, the entire legal framework that is set up to give people the right to challenge a death sentence.
I would argue that's an error in capitalism more than it is an error in.
Like a moral error?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly I'm sure that there's some other way to do it. But considering what we know about,
I didn't realize that.
False.
It's more expensive to kill someone
Yeah.
than it is to keep them in prison for
I'm
life.
just saying, someone like John Wayne Gacy,
yeah.
better off dead.
Well, I think the moral thing in us wants to see people that are like
Awful.
What's the word? Objectively awful people.
Yeah.
We want to see
him fry.
we want to see someone pay for something.
That
with their
is
life.
that is the other reason I don't like capital punishment, is because it's a perfect example of how our justice system is not concerned with justice. It's concerned with vengeance.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
In places like Sweden and Norway, the primary focus of correctional facilities is to correct.
Sure.
Their
Yeah.
rehab
And it
centers.
works.
And it works.
I would like to see a justice system that depends, like for us, that depends on reform.
Oh my God. Hold on.
You okay?
Yeah, that's what my stylist said last time I went.
Hey, oh, you know what I'm saying?
I liked that look too. That's what I'm gonna do next time I get this mop cut off of my head. But anyway,
Yeah.
you were talking about how the end.
So I'd like to see a system for us that depends more on reform
Yeah.
and like. So a large portion of. I'd like to see a lot of things. I'd like to see a system that isn't inherently racist. I'd like to see like some things made not to be illegal.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be. And I would like to see a system based on reform, and that would take care of about like 85% of the population that
agree.
is in like prison and jail.
Yeah.
Like if we actually cared about addicts and did something about it rather than just
Locking
punish
them up
them
for 20 years,
and
yeah.
they still do drugs in jail. Like it
Right,
doesn't.
absolutely,
We're
yeah.
not making them not an addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the shittiest things about the legal system that we have currently set up is it's mostly for shit that is kind of no one else's problem.
Yeah.
But then you make someone a public charge.
Yeah, or that
over shit that
becomes someone's problem because they have like an actual medical condition that maybe they should have good treatment for.
Yeah,
right,
and would help them.
And then not only that, we're not helping anyone in prison become a productive member of society, because all that does when they get out is they can't get a job, they can't function on the outside if they've been in there long enough.
Yeah.
And that's where recidivism comes from.
Institutionalized.
So it's a self-reinforcing negative cycle. Fuck. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah. Incidentally, the United States also has the highest rate of incarceration per capita.
Yes.
1 out of every 4 Americans are in jail or prison.
That's insane.
That's
so many people.
yeah.
Is it really 1 in 4?
It's 25% of this country's population that is in jail or prison or some form of detention.
That's like ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That one sink in.
it's the highest in the world, in fact.
Yes. Yeah.
The highest per capita rate of incarceration on this planet.
You see, we're sitting here talking
Land
about
of
ways
the
to,
free.
ways to make things better. I'm saying let's do like a RoboCop future, and instead just it's like space prisons and just people getting gunned down in the streets by robot cops.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You
Let's do
thought
that.
about littering. Bang,
Right.
bang.
Exactly.
Littering.
Yeah, reduce the rate of incarceration by shooting criminals on sight.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But
That's
like
why I favor-
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just black people. Everybody.
Recycle their biomatter for
Am I
fuel,
wrong?
and it fixes our dependence on foreign oil
Why are
as
you
well.
booing me? I'm right.
No, yes. Just everyone gets shot. That's the solution.
Regardless of race, color, creed.
Yeah. Robots don't
Apollo creed.
Robots don't see all that. They
Right.
just see, a guy flick a cigarette into a trash can.
Halt.
Halt.
Yeah. No, it's something we got to do something about. Morons will tell you that it's because there's too many criminals in the country. When in reality, the problem is how we deal with criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's for-profit prisons.
Yes.
Yeah, that
needs to
pisses
go.
me off so much.
Yeah, they found capitalism has found a way to make slavery
Right.
legal again.
Do we have to make capitalism about every single thing in this country?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, it's
The
yes.
American way.
I saw a post on Twitter earlier today that said regarding NFTs, non-fungible tokens, saying that it's proof that if scarcity does not exist, capitalism will find a way to make it exist. Mm-hmm. The system of capitalism in general just exists to devour everything in sight and turn it into some way to make scumbags more money.
Yeah.
Which I'll reiterate this again because I said it last night, but who's down to form the American Bolshevik Party with me?
I don't really know anything about the Bolsheviks. I feel like I should.
I know they had a revolution.
Right. Did they have funny hats? Tell me they had funny
Well, they have
hats.
horns.
They're Russians, of course they had funny hats.
They're bulls.
I gotta go get this blanket away from the dog. My grandma crocheted that blanket.
You don't want that dog to fuck that blanket right here on the
He's
podcast?
just trying to get comfy,
get his-
but I understand.
Get his ejaculate-like drool all over it. So yeah,
No, I totally understand all your arguments. I think in certain cases, if it wasn't so, I didn't realize it was more expensive.
yeah.
But I do think there are certain monsters who exist, not just in this country, but on the planet that, the world's better off without. But, I'm not down to spend several $100,000 to kill them when you could. There's so many guns in this country.
It's above $1 million.
What's wrong with a perfectly good firing squad? Which, incidentally, there's still a couple states left in the country that let you pick how to die. Like the couple.
Yeah.
I want to go by firing squad.
I'd go by firing squad.
Hell yeah.
Because here's the thing. Here's the other thing about capital punishment that pisses me off. You can't get a doctor to do it.
Yeah.
Doctors swear the Hippocratic
Right.
Oath. So a doctor legally can't kill a prisoner.
Yeah.
They'll lose their fucking license. So instead, you get Joe Dipshit, the CO,
Right.
having to use these poisons and mix them in just the right way.
Oh my god.
So, and every once in a while, yes, it goes wrong.
Just
get
shoot
fails.
me. Yeah, just shoot me.
And-
Literally.
That's
on
the thing.
NBC.
That's the most reliable
shoot
way
me.
to
Just
do
shoot
it,
me.
and it's still you get fails.
It's-
But like, what about the horrendous ways that people have died when an electrocution has
Yeah,
failed?
right.
Yeah, you
Or,
fuck up an
I
electrocution.
saw the Green Mile.
Yeah, right.
I know what happens.
I know that works.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I
don't
mean, in
remind me
theory, a
of that.
firing squad, you should have your best guys with the best aim on that, but you could still have a
Hell.
weird fluke thing where you don't die from getting shot that many times. Like,
Sure, but at least they'll finish the job. You know,
Yeah.
I can count on I can at least count on some former cop or a CO or whatever.
Yeah.
To fucking come up and plug me
but
in the
will
head.
they?
and put
Because
me
the
out of-
point of that is that they don't know who actually killed you. And it's the same kind of thing as not having a doctor be able to kill a person is like they don't want someone to have the guilt of knowing they're the one who did the kill shot because you have that on your conscience.
Okay, so here's the obvious solution. In the old days, they had to do it with a single shot rifle or
Yeah.
like a bolt action, something that could only fire one shot at a time. Set everything to full automatic. Empty your magazines into me. Make that if I'm not
Empty your
dead.
magazines into me, CO Daddy.
If I'm not dead after that, I clearly deserve to walk free.
Here's a thought. Firing squad, they're all potato cannons.
Oh no, that's bad. I would never choose that.
One potato right in the head.
Okay, well,
That's just I'm
Snaps
Irish.
you
That's
back.
just going to give me superpowers.
Have you ever fired a potato cannon before?
No, but I know that the impact is tremendous.
It's literally a cannon. There's
Yeah.
a reason they call it a potato cannon.
Right.
It's literally a
I'm
weapon.
picturing the right thing.
It's fucking dangerous.
I
It's
promise
like-
you, I'm picturing the carnage.
Now picture that to your balls.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Because that's
as
going to
much.
happen.
I don't like that as much.
I'm just thinking about the scene in Jackass 2 where they get like the anti-riot mines that they have to stand in front of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
God,
They
those
get paid to
fucking
ride
things.
a skateboard, not to get fucking shot.
Oh my god, the fucking welts
Yeah.
on
Oh.
their bodies after that.
Yeah.
Can I bring up a topic
Yes.
related? Fuck you, get out of here,
Yeah.
bitch.
Fuck you. We don't want women in our podcast.
Especially if it's something other than like punishment and criminal law.
It is. Well, I mean, it has to do with the
Okay.
topic, but
Yeah.
setting. Are you sniffing into the microphone?
No.
Setting precedents
definitely not.
and how that's done.
Yeah.
So, like, in
Sorry.
you fucking asshole.
Oh.
In cases that get like appealed and brought up to kicked up to the Supreme Court, right?
Right.
Like they have to make a ruling on something that maybe there isn't a strict black and white law on, and then generally that's set as a precedent. So it's not a law, so you can go against it, but usually if something is set as precedent, it's typically followed and it's used as like evidence-based lawyering, like, hey, in the case that this situation happened, this is how we handled it before, so this is how we should handle it. And there was a horrible precedent that's just been set, and I don't know if you guys heard about that, but it is in Missouri, I believe. I need to look this up real
Of
quick.
course it is.
Missouri.
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 Mizzou.
So basically, I'm sorry, it was Minnesota Supreme Court. It was one of those M's.
Oh, that's
Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So basically, the precedent that was set, and I haven't read a bunch about the case, but what it comes down to is the ruling essentially comes down to that if you are a rape victim, but you chose to drink, then you made that decision, so it wasn't rape.
Well, you like forfeit the right to say that you
Right.
were raped?
Right. because
fuck is that?
you chose to drink.
That's bananas. Any other crime, if someone does it to you when you're drunk, it's still the same crime.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they don't have a thing that says
it
if
would
you
be
were
like-
drunk, you didn't get shot.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be like if you stabbed me, but I was drunk, and I was like, well, he stabbed me, and they were like, yeah, but you decided to drink.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but he still stabbed me.
Or-
He still did something to me that I didn't want him to do.
You would have noticed that this guy picked your wallet out of your pocket if you hadn't been drinking.
And I will say, I haven't done a bunch of reading, so I don't know the fine details of the case, but that is what the overall, even if they didn't intend it that way, that is what the precedent is how it's going to be used.
That's
So sorry to bring you guys down,
No,
but
that's troubling.
this is like one of the faults of our system is
But-
like precedents can be very positive, and it can do things like, try to help keep abortion laws from being turned over and stuff like that because precedents have been set. But like, then you have the shitty version where they set a horrible precedent that the implications are awful and should not have been set.
That's
and then like
deeply troubling.
and then that could be held too. And you would hope that people wouldn't hold to that and they would be like, yeah, that's fucking shitty. No, that was a bad call.
Yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't have been 8 years old. Then you would have known better than to get in that van with that guy.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Well, no, that's like, that's what, I mean, that's.
Yeah. That's not a bad analogy.
And here's the thing. No one who decides to drink goes into it. I mean, the thing is, women who decide to drink, we do go into it thinking there could be a chance we'll get raped. But that's not your mindset. You're not like, I'm going to get drunk tonight, and if I get raped, then I guess it's my fault. That's not how things work.
There's a chance that if I cross the street, I could get hit by a car, but it's not my fault for deciding to cross the street.
Right.
It's the driver's fault for fucking hitting me.
Right.
Can I get
But-
real personal here?
Sure. Maybe?
What's about to
What's
happen?
about to happen? Well, here's my dick. No, when
I
I
talked
your
about my
big
balls last
balls.
time.
Yeah,
Now
right.
let's talk about my prostate.
I'm going to get real personal, and I want to show you this tattoo I got.
Yeah, right here,
Right.
It's of my balls.
my huge
I got
balls
my balls tattooed on the small of my back.
on the small of my
Yeah,
balls.
From the small of my balls. I got my balls tattooed on my taint.
There's nothing small about your balls.
No, when I was,
So we've been
this is
told.
going to get really heavy real quick. So I'm sorry, everybody.
I hope people were here to laugh.
Woo! You guys ready for this real funny story?
Oh, boy.
When I was 17, I was molested by a woman when I was drunk.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So
I don't think I
I'm
knew
sorry,
that.
dude.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's like it's one of those things where like you forget about it for so long, and then it's like it was only like recently where I realized I wasn't okay with it.
Yeah.
Like at the time, it was like we were young, and like I don't.
Well, and the horrible like thing that's put on dudes that is like I'm assuming this person was older than you, but maybe not. But
Younger by a couple months.
but the thing that's put on men that's like, well, like if you were having sex with a woman, then it's great. It doesn't matter
Well, that
how
was the
young
thing.
or in
Yeah,
what
right.
situation or like how much you didn't want to do it. You're go, bro.
Yeah,
like
like-
no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't want to get into like specifics and really bring the mood down, but it was
Right.
like definitely not cool. It was like
Yeah.
real invasive and real, really not. It's being molested. It's
Yeah,
fucking
right.
weird. But like I said, it was one of those things where it didn't hit me until very recently, like how not cool I was with it.
That's
you know?
probably
Yeah.
more common than you think. Too.
Right. And like I said, young, drunk, stupid. I don't harbor any ill will towards the person that did it because I don't.
Sure.
I don't think she realized.
You don't think there was any like malicious intent there?
I don't. I mean, like I said, it was like real personal, like real invasive. But I don't think it was done like as a. You know what I mean? I don't. It sounds weird. I don't think it was meant to be like a rape dominance kind of thing. Maybe like
People can do stuff without intending to be predatory.
Yeah.
They can have the
It
wrong
doesn't mean it's
intention.
okay.
But I mean, it was like
yeah.
it was definitely predatory. It was definitely not cool. I don't think it was intended that way, but it was like
Right.
It's like being blackout drunk and having someone invade your personal space. It's like
that's exactly what it is.
So like that's like really, really troubling to me because I know what that feels like, and I know what that feels like when you're an adult who has to rationalize that.
And
like,
especially in discussions of rape, there's this weird thing, and it's like one of the only crimes it happens with, where like there's this shift in emphasis from the perpetrator to the victim.
Yeah.
And it's always there's so much victim blaming and shifting of like, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you make these changes? Why didn't you? And it's in general, like women are obviously more commonly victims of this, but it can be anyone.
Yeah.
But so often the blame is put on like the not blame, but the prevention is put on women of like, well, don't go out at night. Don't be by yourself. Don't wear certain clothes.
Yeah.
Don't get drunk. Don't all these things. Don't do rape.
Yeah, right.
Don't rape
Don't
people.
rape people.
Don't
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
invade people's space when they don't want you to
Right.
be there. Don't
Right.
like it. You will never reduce these crimes from happening if the emphasis is always on the person who it happened to,
Right.
and not on the people perpetrating the crime.
It is so easy to teach kids what's not cool to do. You know what I mean? Like it's so it's so easy to tell your 8-year-old son, hey, don't invade people's personal space. Don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I personally feel like, and I don't have kids, but if I did, I feel like this is something I would want to teach them. Like, we should be teaching kids when they're young that, like, if you don't want Uncle Billy to give you a hug, then you don't have to let him give you a hug.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like, when I was growing up, it was like, hug your family members, even though, like, you don't want them to, because that's polite. No, like, we need to be teaching kids that if you don't want something to happen, you get to say no.
Right.
So we know that our kids know how to do that.
Absolutely.
And that they can come to us and tell us, like, hey, they stepped over the line.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
But on the other hand, Ralphie, your Aunt Clara made that pink bunny suit by hand, and you should put it on for her. Damn it!
I have a story to tell you guys after this podcast because it involves someone else, and I don't want to get like super personal.
Right.
So
Yeah, let's get out of this.
you ever hear a law that makes you think like there's got to be a story behind this?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
oh, tons of them. I
Not
love
necessarily
weird
laws, but like weird signs in front of stores that are like, you're like, something weird happened in that place.
Yeah.
Like,
In Alaska, it is illegal to even look at a moose from an airplane in motion.
I'm assuming someone shot one from an airplane.
Now, how often that's enforced? How often these weird, because you read these weird laws all the time. They used to be a lot more popular in the earlier days of the internet. Get forwarded through mailing lists and shit. But yeah, like it wasn't until much later in life that I thought like, these laws exist for a reason. Someone did something incredibly specific. There's a law, I think it's in Minnesota actually, that it's against the law to get fish drunk.
I'm sorry. I
remember hearing that one, but I forgot where.
It's illegal here in good old Youngstown to ride on the roof of a taxi.
Yes.
Now, normally, if you're riding on the roof of a vehicle, you'd imagine a cop pulls you over, says, "Hey, that's not safe. You can't do that. Get in the vehicle." But there's a specific law in this city that specifically says taxi cabs.
Which has to mean that it happened enough that someone had to sit down and be like, we got to stop.
I'm assuming
all
that
these-
people were stealing rides from cabbies by jumping on the roof.
Or
and
they were
then-
drunk.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
they
I
were
was saying,
drunk.
if
and
you've
they
ever
were
spent
like,
one zombie crawl downtown, you understand
yeah.
that walk.
they had like a party of 5, 3 crammed into the back seat, 1 in the front seat, 1 on the roof.
Great TV show, though.
Party of 5.
Taxi.
And taxi.
It
Yeah.
can work multiple ways. But I meant Party of 5.
Yeah.
There isn't a show called Zombie Crawl, is there? If not, there should
Not
be.
yet.
It should be. That sounds awesome. There's also a law in Youngstown. I don't know if it's still on the books or not, but it was put on when we were the murder capital of the United States.
Sure.
Which we held for the years 91, 92, 93, 95. 97 and 2000.
Number one.
Don't ask me why I
Be proud of
know
your
that
heritage.
crazy stat. Yeah, there's a law in Youngstown that in certain parts of the city, you're allowed to run red lights if you don't feel comfortable.
I didn't know that was necessarily a law, but I knew it was enforced, especially if you're a woman, especially after dark.
It's a really good way. If you run enough red lights, eventually a cop's going to see you, and that's what you want.
Yes.
Right.
You want the cop to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a generally accepted thing that's a thing you can do. So when I used to work in Pittsburgh, there was someone else from Youngstown who worked there, and she was in the process of like moving to the area, and so had been like looking at places, and she found herself in an area that she was like, oh, this area is kind of sketchy, and it was after dark, and there was like a red light, and she ran it, and she told us about it later. I'm like, you can't do that here, and everyone else is shocked, and I'm the only one who gets it. I was like, that is strictly a Youngstown rule.
Yeah,
like you can't go to Pittsburgh and run red lights and expect him to be okay with it. Like,
you have to rely on other outlets for shitty driving in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right.
and I'm like, no, like I understand why, but people here aren't going to understand that that's a precedent that has been set and that like you can justify it.
Right. So we're coming up on 2 hours. I want to actually wrap this up by asking two questions. First, what is a law you would strike nationwide? And what is a law you would enact nationwide?
I was actually kind of thinking this is what we should be discussing is what are the things you want to make illegal?
Yeah.
Let me
now.
open this up. Mandatory minimums need to be abolished.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be decided on a case-by-case basis.
Oh,
but
mandatory minimum punishments.
Yeah.
Yeah, sentences. Usually in drug cases.
Usually, I'm talking specifically in drug cases.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge problem with like kids getting busted with an eighth of pot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is not going to kill anyone. He's going to sit on his couch and play Halo for the night.
Exactly. And I think we're moving. I think it's going to take some time, but I think we're moving away from that Reagan era, just say no.
It is like insane zero tolerance kind of shit.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. As someone who has been caught with pot on them, you know what I mean? You don't want to be doing that, And as someone who's had felony amounts of marijuana on them,
Right.
Like not just little felony, like big felony, you know what I mean?
Oh, little felony.
Big Felony is my rapper name.
I think I told the story about the time I had to run. We were smoking a joint in the woods in Mill Creek Park, and a cop
Oh, yes,
pulled
you
up,
did.
stopped, and then reversed the car. When so like, and I had like a pound and not a pound. I had an ounce and a half of marijuana.
Wow.
just carrying a brick. No, I had an ounce and a half of dopey dope.
What's
on
up,
me.
bosses? For you want some?
I had to hide it in the knot of a tree and then go back for it later. It's like that's like butt punishment jail with that kind of, you know what I mean? Like that's like real jail.
Butt punishment jail.
Yeah, it's not like a night in the drunk tank and you go, no, I'm so sorry, judge. It's like, no, I was like, that's like distribution charges and you know.
I knew people whose lives were fucked up because they were in a car and they were driving and it was their car and the people in the back were smoking.
Yep.
And they got charged with possession and paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And their life was fucked.
Fucking ruins it. Yeah.
And this was in college, and they went to school in a town that like was pretty conservative and not close to where they lived.
Yeah.
And now they couldn't drive.
Yeah.
And like, because their license was suspended and whatever shit, and they had to go to court and like all this shit.
It's a mess. Yeah.
And it's like they weren't the ones even doing it, but it was in their car.
You know how many blunts I smoked in high school and in college just driving around the city?
Yeah.
Like in the car, plain sight, just fuck it,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's okay that it happened, but their life shouldn't have been fucked up for it.
Yet another one of many things that Ronald Reagan has ruined about this country.
Marijuana.
The fucking war on drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something that is inherently good.
I'm glad he's burning in hell for eternity. Fucking
Where am I?
Demented old cocksucker.
Along the same lines, I would like 3 strike rolls
Yeah.
to fucking go away.
Yeah, that's a huge.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah, the legal system isn't fucking baseball.
Yeah, like your third catch with a small amount of cocaine is 20 years.
Again, things that could be remedied by actually helping people instead of punishing them for like
They're slowly getting there.
Yeah.
having an addiction and you fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
Like, how about you help them and then they wouldn't have a third strike?
Why should my tax dollars go towards helping druggies? Says Rush Limbaugh, lighting up another stogie.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're popping another
not popping
pill.
pills.
Yeah.
right.
I'm glad he's in hell too.
Laws that I would enact. Speaking of popping pills,
Congratulations to Rush Limbaugh, by the way, for a month of sobriety.
Piece of shit.
Fuck that guy. No, a law I would enact. Speaking of popping pills, is I would most modernized countries have some kind of law about drug pricing. I would enact that. You know, the fact that you can get a crate of insulin for $20 in Canada and it's $300 here
Yeah.
is fucking
unbelievable.
ridiculous.
You know, the root of that problem is also the root of the fact that we are the only industrialized nation where it is perfectly legal to run television advertisements for brand name pharmaceuticals.
Exactly.
You can't do that in other countries.
I would like laws about healthcare and having it like be provided.
Yeah.
And not like and stricter laws about how they could come after you for medical debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fuck your life up because you didn't have insurance and you had to go to the hospital for an issue. Like,
Yeah.
how fucked is it that your life is fucked up because you had to do something
Yeah.
and you're not provided for and you had no good choices?
Here's one for you. In basically every other industrialized country in the world, it is free to go to the hospital and give birth.
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah.
I remember being very young, and seeing Matilda in the theaters.
Yeah.
And there's a line that Danny DeVito has where he's complaining about the bill. And I turned to my mom and I'm like, people have to pay to have babies?
Yeah.
And she was like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, kid, people have to pay to do everything.
Yeah.
all right, Dave, law you would strike and a law you would enact.
Actually, you just kind of hit on it because you were talking about the debt industry.
Yeah.
So something I was thinking about is the fact that it is perfectly legal for debt collectors to resort to some really disgusting tactics.
Yes.
Including calling your whole family.
That's happened to me.
Calling your employer, harassing you. They drive people to suicide.
Yeah.
That is one thing I would want to see changed is the ways that they pursue the way that debt is perfectly transferable in its original form to someone completely different who
Yeah.
can then ruin your life because their business is ruining your life.
I've been on the end of this so many times.
Yeah. It's,
Because I couldn't get my life together for a long
Yeah,
time.
dude, I get it.
and it's like it's horrible, and
It
it
is
makes you
horrible.
feel really bad.
It's
and it's
mafia
way
shit.
more common than you realize
Yeah.
to like have things in collections, and they absolutely harass you, and even the ones who do it perfectly legally harass you.
yeah.
And basically threaten you into they try to threaten you into agreeing to give them something while they're on the phone with you.
Yeah.
And tell you that they're going to take you to court if you don't agree to pay a certain amount right
Yep.
then.
Oh, well.
And
See you in court.
And it's like that's the legal way to do it. They're
Yeah.
allowed to say that stuff to you. And it totally fucks you up and it's awful. I would also like so if they forgive debt, which is something everyone is like really gung-ho for,
Yeah.
what they don't tell you is that you're still financially liable for it on your taxes because it counts as
Income. Sure.
So if you get like I did once 12,000 in debt forgiven,
Yeah.
which in order to forgive it, there's parameters. They have to not ask for it from you for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
So you basically have to have forgotten about it because they didn't ask you for it. And now you get slammed with it because they've forgiven it. And you're financially liable for something you probably
idea
didn't
about,
even know existed.
Right.
And it could make you go up in tax bracket and owe the government money for potentially a private debt.
Yeah, right.
That you signed on for when you were like 18.
Yeah.
So, like, the rules we have about debt collections and the
it's
way we
nuts.
handle loans and shit are totally fucked.
My ex, I was getting phone calls. My ex had debt problems too, and I was getting phone calls from like private collectors that I never picked up because I don't answer the phone if I don't know
Right.
who it is. And it got to, they were like leaving me messages of, you know, we're trying to reach you about, you know, so and so.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, what the fuck do they even, like, this is after we had broken up, you know, we were done. But I finally, like, I recognized the phone number one day and I picked it up and I was like, hello. And he's like, oh, hi, we're trying to reach, you know, this person about a debt. Are you Christopher Brady? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, well, do you know so-and-so? You know, we you know, and I said, uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you know, she owes, you know, we're trying to collect debt from her. They're like, do you happen to know a phone number or an email address or an address we can reach her? And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, what is it? And I'm like, I'm not telling you. And he's like, well, why not? And I'm like, because you're scum. And
Yeah, you're a fucking vulture. And
I was like, look, man, we broke up 2 years ago. Please stop calling my phone. I'm not giving you anything on her. You know,
I have all of her contact information. It's written right up on my taint.
yeah. So I need you to come here and I'll spread my ass and you can look at it.
They called
you. I'm
my
like-
brother on
Yeah.
his cell phone, who was a person who's not associated with my debt in
Yeah.
any way, while he was at work. And I forget what he told them, but he was like, firstly, like, after this conversation, absolutely do not call me. And also, like, do you legally own this debt? Can you provide proof that you legally own this
Yeah,
debt?
right.
And that puts them on the spot. And they didn't like that. And he's like, yeah, like, you should really prove that you own this debt and also stop calling me because it's not my debt.
Yeah,
and
right.
Stop it. And I'm like, how embarrassing that now your family's getting shaken down.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It
I
makes
believe
you
it amounts
feel
to
like-
criminality.
it makes you feel
Yeah.
like total shit.
It's
and that's what they want. They are trying to guilt you
Yeah.
into paying
People
it.
fucking kill themselves over shit.
Yeah,
like
right.
Yeah.
yeah, and then that debt gets passed to their next of kin.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 I remember my grandfather someone was trying
Not
to collect a
student loan
debt
debt.
from my grandfather for something that he didn't, like, he had no idea what they were talking about. And this dude called, like, this was years ago. This dude called him every day for like 6 months. And this is like this is like old school, you know what I mean? This is like way back when, at the start of, like, you know, harassing horrible debt collectors. And he finally told the guy, like, you know my address? And he's like, yeah, I know your address. It's such and such. He said, good. You want to come get your money? Come on down. Whenever you're ready, I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah.
So
And the guy
thi-
never called him again.
this is
It's like-
actually a particular problem right now, Dave, because in Ohio, so we just got our stimulus, right? In Ohio, they made it collectible. So, like, debt collectors could take that from you,
I'm
could
worried that
garnish
might have
it.
happened to me.
And I have personally noticed debts crawling out of the woodwork,
Yeah.
and some of them specifically with language on it that says, remember, you can use your entire stimulus to pay this debt. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure that this is actually a debt that
Yeah.
I owe anymore. I may or may not have paid it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, it just, like, so predatory.
Yeah.
So predatory.
Yeah.
And I don't know how anyone does those jobs. I understand that it's a job that I guess needs done in our system, but, like,
Does it though?
how does anyone do that job?
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't do that.
I
couldn't
don't think
do
they
it.
like it.
So agencies.
I mean, I had a shit job where I had to call people and ask them to make donations,
too.
and it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did it for 9 months before I felt my soul leaving me, and I had to quit because I was crying every day
2
before work.
months. 2 months.
if like yeah, no, it's not a job that needs done. They're like specifically debt collection agencies.
Yeah.
If I owe something, let the person I owe it to come to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you send a debt collection agency, I'm very fortunate to not have debt, but you know, fucking No, I'm not talking to anyone except the person I owe.
Come and take it. Sorry. Come and take it, Texas mud.
Give him a take.
Come and take it.
So anyway, who hasn't done like law we'd strike, law we'd enact
You.
all the way through?
I can't think of a law I would enact, honestly.
Really?
Fuck all the laws.
Yeah.
Live in a lawless wasteland.
Anarchy, man.
I'm all for
I would like to be anarchy, man. That's my superhero.
I'm all for anarchy. I'm all for anarchy followed by communism. That's how it generally goes.
Yeah, I actually don't believe that anarchy is ever something that could ever actually exist, but
Yeah.
Well, all it means is an absence of a ruler.
yeah, but things don't work like
ruler.
that. Like there's always
Yeah,
some
we'd
system
have-
of organization, and
We'd have to go
it
back
gets
into
bastardized.
we'd have to go back into like a tribal society and decide everything by collective vote.
You end up with a Morton Joe, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
You end up with that guy.
Yeah,
Someone hoards all the water, and everyone else huffs spray paint, and that's how it goes.
Anyway,
yeah. How about you?
a law that I would strike that currently exists. I would make it so that it is a law that I would strike. Oh, I would strike the law. Frankly, I'd strike the law against narcotics.
Yeah.
Across the board, I'd strike it.
I'm increasingly coming into that opinion too.
If you are, and this is a libertarian opinion that gets cited a lot, and I am so far from being a fucking libertarian.
Libertarian is what people say they are when they don't know what libertarian means.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
what they mean is I'm a
Libertarian
conservative,
is what
but I
people-
don't want to admit that I'm a conservative.
Or it's what people say when they think it means moderate.
Yeah. Libertarian is what they say when they don't want to say, I fuck my My Little Pony plushie ritualistically every Saturday.
I don't know. From what I understand, the people that fuck their My Little Pony
They admit it.
plushies, they like talking about it.
Yeah.
So, just legalize narcotics across the board. If you are found in possession of them, it will not be tried criminally. It will instead be taken care of with rehab, with treatment, with actual medical
Yeah.
treatment.
It's really odd that we give our money to people to imprison people instead of other people to treat people.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I can't imagine that the cost, maybe it is much more expensive to treat someone, but I can't imagine that it has to be. It doesn't have to be.
The
It
thing
doesn't
is, this
have
is
to
a
be, no.
problem created largely, and not solely, but largely by the pharmaceutical industry,
Yeah.
and also by our government and the way they handle drugs, and the very
Reagan.
intentionally racist way that it
Yeah.
was handled.
Thanks, Reagan.
And they created a problem and now expect the communities to deal with it and fix it and pay for it.
Yeah.
Instead of putting in any money to actually help people.
And the cost aspect of it would be mitigated, I think, by the very fact of rehabilitation, getting people into jobs again.
Yes.
Getting less people in prison, more people into the workworkforce.
Yeah.
And
Boy, this sounds like a job for Tim the Jobs Man.
It sure does.
which leads me to
Buttermilk.
my next point.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next point. The law I would enact is a $25 minimum wage.
25.
And I'll tell you,
Move over, Bernie Sanders.
and I'll
Well, no, that's what it should be.
Probably.
With inflation.
with adjusted for inflation, the minimum wage currently for a livable wage should be around $22 and change per hour. That's adjusted for inflation. The minimum wage has not kept up with the economy.
Not
Obviously.
since the 70s and the death of the American dream.
Asking for 15 an hour is a major concession from the American workforce.
Yeah.
yeah. It's remarkable.
And there's a whole
that
lot
it's
of
as low as it is now.
And there's a whole lot of the American workforce that doesn't even realize that it should be $7 more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, at this point, so many people are like, I'll take anything I can get
Yeah,
if
exactly.
it's more than what you're saying I deserve, which is like pennies.
Right. Yeah, people are seriously out there hustling and busting ass, making your fucking McGriddle sandwich in the morning, and
now you're starting to talk about something that I care about. Here we go.
and making fucking peanuts for it.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna motivate people
Pay them.
to get off of drugs and really take rehab seriously
Here.
with the promise
Fucking here.
that you are going to have help as rehab programs do, being placed in some sort of job afterwards, make it worth it. $20 an hour at the very least.
Yeah, if you don't
Here,
want people
fucking
to
here.
to do things that are illegal to make money, make it so it's not so damn hard to live
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the jobs that you can get.
So
Put buttermilk in every fridge,
That's
goddamn.
what I'm saying.
a Big Mac here in the United States is about $5 and change,
I'm
right?
listening. See, if you put all this shit in terms of fast food, I'm like suddenly like,
And your average McDonald's worker is paid minimum wage, right? Which is just shy of $8 an hour.
Yeah.
In Denmark, the wage of a worker at a McDonald's in Denmark is about it's a hair shy of the equivalent of $23 an hour, 23 US dollars an hour. The price of a Big Mac there is about a dime more
Yeah.
A dime more than it is here.
than it is here. You pay another 10 cents for a Big Mac in Denmark than you do
The thing is,
here,
again, if we
despite-
diverted money from our military, this would not be
right,
a problem.
despite the minimum wage there being almost 3 times higher than it is here. And so anyone who uses the argument that a higher minimum wage will make everything more expensive is technically correct, but also full of shit.
yeah,
The thing
It's
that's
going to make things cost this much more.
yeah.
the thing that is really annoying
And
is
you'll also be making more to spend on it.
the brainwashing of this country and our capitalism that has people who are like working poor and not even middle class
Yeah.
because it's shifted so much, thinking that they are and that they're somehow going to be harmed by like, I know, changing taxing practices and like taxing the rich. Like you're not the rich. You're not even close. You're at the bottom of the totem pole, and you don't even realize how they're like laughing as rich people's piss falls on you,
Yeah.
and you think it's rain. Like
It reminds me of the it reminds me of the
Rich people's piss falls on you.
Well,
Yes.
This is a pissy episode.
it is a pissy episode.
it reminds me too of
A very pissy episode.
you know, not to be that guy and quote the Matrix, but I'm going to totally quote the Matrix. What you're saying about working poor who you know ruthlessly and relentlessly defend capitalism, even though it's exploiting them. It reminds me of when Morpheus explains to Neo, there are people who are so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's sad, and it's why we need the American Bolshevik Party.
It's like poetry. It's like they rhyme.
It's why we need to start learning some Russian, or at least just say "Ura!" whenever we throw
Cheeky breaky.
burning object through a government building.
Blat!
Cheeky breaky. Yeah, as long as you can seriously just even shout cheeky breaky,
Yeah.
and it'll be fine.
Cheeky breaky.
But no, I pray every day for a communist America.
Yeah, we pray, we pray, we pray, we pray.
Not even socialist. I want communism.
Every day, every
Seems
day,
like a good
every
place
day.
to wrap up this.
Oh yeah, let's get out of this real quick. I have to share with you guys. My wife just sent me a text that says, "Also, we are dangerously low on peanut butter. She capitalized dangerously.
Oh, jeez. Is she pregnant or something?
Okay.
I keep telling her.
I completely understand what she means.
Yeah, right. We are dangerously low
You
on
should
peanut
see
butter.
the size of the peanut butter container I purchased for this household.
I know. We buy the big ones. That's what you know.
Yeah,
There's-
that's what I got. I got as
should
big as
be
I could.
There should be a warning system on a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Like a
Once it
little
gets below-
line, and it's like below this level, that's emergency level.
Do not consume without milk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I am not of you. I am not one of you.
How can you eat peanut butter without milk?
You can have lactose intolerance and got used to not having milk for a very
okay.
long time.
Almond milk.
I never liked milk that much as a kid, though.
Oh, I'm crazy for
Are you
milk.
supposed to wash down your little nibbles?
You just dry swallow it like a real man.
Aubrey actually told
Same
me.
way I take my pills.
Aubrey actually told me yesterday or the day before that Miss Tina thinks it's hilarious how much milk I drink because she has never in her life seen anyone drink milk as much as I do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I would laugh, but like, how much milk do you drink?
It's a lot. I can easily like pound 2 glassfuls
Me too.
in like, you know, the span of what, 10 or 12 seconds.
Yeah,
Sure,
me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's
love
the
milk.
only way to drink milk is to pound it
Yeah.
purely down.
That's not a sip and drink.
No, it's when it's nice and cold, you tip that glass.
I
go
have it
one
in
full glass. and
cereal,
then-
or I have it in like a protein shake.
What do you eat with your pie?
What do you eat with chocolate?
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. If I'm going to have a sandwich and I want like a peanut butter sandwich and I got like a glass of milk, I'll pour the first glass, but then I'll want to drink a little bit, but then I'll drink a whole glass. So then I have to pour the second.
Yeah.
I do one whole pounded glass, fill it up again, drink half of it, and then save the rest to eat with the sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
You betrayed the law.
So I'm increasingly having to piss. I feel like I have to piss more drinking water than I do drinking beer on this show.
Yeah,
But
you're not dehydrated.
You don't
You're
buy water. You just run
filling
it.
it up.
That's
Right.
what they say.
but anyway,
don't say
recommendations. Who wants to go first?
We want to take a break.
You don't want
first.
to take a break?
Yeah, I'll go pee first.
We
then.
always take a break before recommendations.
Do we? Oh, we do. You're right.
Literally always for 5 years.
You're right. You're right.
Go take a little bit.
All right, so we'll take a break, and when we come back, recommendations and what, if anything,
Visit the
we
West
have
Palace.
we have learned that hopefully isn't too depressing or soul crushing.
Yeah, right. Ooh. Getting personal here on the Dude Cast.
We'll be back in a bit.
Oh, man. Get out of my car.
So we're back.
We're back.
And we're back.
We're gonna quit because the clock is is stealing our life force as clocks are designed to do.
Yep.
How is it almost 10 already?
I don't know.
I don't know because clocks are stealing our life
We've not
force.
been
It's a
focused.
government conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know why?
Birds aren't real.
Yeah,
Time cube.
You know why the British are always so miserable? It's because Big Ben is constantly stealing other energy at a much higher rate than most clocks.
It's just Ben, but it's like he's like marching through London.
I eat your time.
You'll pay for your tea taxes.
I'm
your
fueled by
bad
every second
teeth.
that slips by you.
It's just English people. Johnny, oh shit!
Big Americans come round again, eh?
Shit.
Oh, shite!
Oh shite! It's Big Ben.
Giant Americans come by again, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
about that
saw a
time.
meme recently that made me roll my eyes and laugh at the same time, which was like a comment on like Americans not really getting like British slang. And so it was a British person like, cheerio, America, and American like, yeah, Fruit Loops to you.
That's great. All right. So recommendations. Who got one?
I got one.
I mean,
No, go ahead. Ladies first. Dave. Woo, get it? I called you a lady.
Get it?
Woo, that's not a bad thing.
The
It's-
ultimate insult.
Yeah,
Am I
it's not-
right?
Am I right, guys? You shake it more than twice, you're playing with it.
Yeah, I do have a recommendation. A recent one. I've been using the Libby app because I don't want to pay for Audible anymore.
You don't want
and
to pay for
fuck it.
pumpkin pie anymore.
It's true. Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin
King pie.
The pumpkin pie.
Pink bite.
But I was listening to a series, and now the book I was listening to is not available as an audiobook on Libby.
Yeah.
Which is like the public library app. You could get audiobooks and ebooks and all that shit.
G. Gordon.
So I decided just to get something else to listen to, and I ended up getting Where the Crawdads Sing, which is a book that came out in 2018 and apparently is going to be made into a movie soon. And it is set in it's set in two different times in the same place. It's in the marshlands of North Carolina, and it is set in the early 1950s, and it jumps around a little bit, and then in the 1960s. And it follows this town and this character in particular who lives in the marshlands with her family, and then things happen and she basically is forced to take care of herself. And then things happening in the town, and shows the disparity between what she has and what everyone in town has, and how they treat her and their opinions, and just class differences and societal differences. But it's a great story.
And then she meets a crawdad whose dream is to become a singer.
Yes, and they
His name
go
is Jiminy
on.
Crawdad.
Pulled up right
They
away.
go on Broadway.
Tell me Google's not listening. I typed in Where the Crawdads Sing is the first
Yeah.
thing that...
That's
immediate.
fucking weird.
But it's also
Before
it's
even Where the
currently
Wild Things
It's
Are.
currently in the making as a show, so I'm sure it's a pretty recent, you know.
okay.
And it's a recent book, 2018. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And it was a bestseller for something 124 weeks on the bestsellers.
shit.
It is phenomenal. And the really cool thing is the author, it's her debut novel.
Oh, shit.
And she's in her 80s, I believe. And her career before she wrote this was she was a wildlife researcher and wrote other books, but that were about her time spent doing her career. Was not a fiction writer at all before now. And it's just there are people who are spending their days analyzing why this book has been as popular as it is, because it is phenomenal. And it doesn't fit any consistent genre. It's historical fiction, but it's also a crime drama, and it's just a great, it's also kind of a period piece and a slice of life, and it's really well written, and even though it jumps time periods, it's easy to understand. Like I said, I'm listening to it, and this particular narrator's also good, which helps, but I love it so far. I don't even think I'm halfway through it yet, but I'm starting to piece together the story and where things are going. And it's just really well done. I'd recommend it to anyone, whether you want to read it or listen to it.
I'm gonna.
I think it's a great book.
And it's on Libby, right? So
It's on Libby, so you
get it
could
for
listen
free.
to it or read it for free through your you could get a digital library card even if you don't have a hard copy
Sick.
library card.
Are they going to digitally come after me for all the fines that I owe them?
No.
Oh, good.
I don't think so.
Okay, God, I hope not.
And the thing is, you download it, but you get it for so many days,
Yeah.
and you can renew it and have it for longer. But it'll just take it back. It's digital content, so it's so stupid. But it'll take it back if you happen to not want to listen to it anymore and just forget. It's
Yeah.
no harm, no foul. You just don't have it, and then if you want it again, you just say you want it again.
Yeah.
So then this narrator, is he a crawdad or she?
To my knowledge, no.
I'm just
But I'm not that far along.
I'm a humble southern crawdad here to read you this story.
So anyway,
Sorry, dog's eating foil.
Oh, yeah, that's probably bad.
Wonderful.
Same.
All right. David, have you a recommendation?
Pass.
Okay. Chris, have you a recommendation?
I do. I want to recommend a show that you can watch on HBO Max right now. I think they're testing the waters for a renewed third season, which I believe they're planning to based on how many people watch this.
Firefly?
No.
Is this what you recommended last time?
No, I recommended Chris Chan last time.
Oh, but didn't we? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought you were going to mention that hospital show.
I am.
We talked about this.
We
I
didn't
think.
talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, well, that's why I remember.
The
talking
thing
about
is,
it.
you have to stop talking unless it's on the podcast. That'll clear these things up.
Right.
I don't know if I remember this.
Yeah, it's a show. It's called The Nick, K-N-I-C-K.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yes.
You
As in,
talked
like-
about it when we hung out.
Yeah,
recently.
as in the Knickerbocker, which is the name of this hospital, a fictional hospital in 1900 New York City. The Nick is a show about basically the early days of surgery as it was moving out of the dentist office and into the like actual medical field, where they were starting to do like actual surgeries that could save people instead of just drilling holes in people's
Putting
heads.
leeches on you,
Yeah.
hoping for the best, cutting
So-
you open and bloodletting
Sticking
you.
a vibrator in you.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna say like sometimes
Sometimes you
I
gotta
get hysterical.
Yeah,
I need a
stick it-
good vibrating.
Just go into just sit in one of those chairs in the mall. Just,
Oh yeah, that's the fucking ticket.
Sometimes science goes back, and then maybe we should turn the dial back on that one again.
one of those
I'm just saying,
coin-operated beds in
Those
sleazy
ladies
motels.
weren't being pleased or pleasured by their husbands.
Right.
Well, no, they didn't have a $5,000 robotic gizmo to
Vibrate them.
Yeah, right.
Doctor,
Right. Or
doctor,
fingers. Their husbands also didn't have fingers or tongues or
Right.
dicks.
doctor, I've been feeling feverish. But what was that tool you used last time? It seemed to really do the trick.
Oh, leeches? No.
God, no.
Not near my clitoris.
Maybe just
Kristy
one.
Davenport story.
Maybe just one leech right on the nipple. But no, I mean the other thing. So anyway,
Are you writing that down?
yes.
Not near my clitoris. No, the Nick stands for the Knickerbocker. It's basically a show. I'm saying that it's basically a show about the start of modern medicine. It couldn't be further from the truth. That's the set piece.
Right.
The show is about basically the head surgeon, John Thackeray, who is you find out pretty early he's a cocaine addict.
Yeah.
Like
Everybody else was at the time.
yeah, he had to get through his surgeries and to like do his research. He would take cocaine, and the show basically starts with him assuming the role of head surgeon for reasons that I will let you discover when you watch the first episode. And it's basically the directors of the hospital telling him that his pick for deputy chief of surgery is not going to be the deputy chief of surgery. They're assigning him a deputy chief of surgery who is a young black surgeon. Yeah.
but what if he touches a patient's liver and it turns black?
Yes. Well, okay. So that comes up many times in this show. So be prepared. It's 1900 New York City. It's just as bad as you think it is. We're addressing black people. It's rough. So you got to get through some racism here, but that's part of the point of the story. Yeah. So when Algernon comes in as the deputy chief of surgery, he's understandably, I guess not understandably is the wrong word. He's, as you would expect, contextually met with, the amount of racism you would expect. The one thing I really like about this show, which was, by the way, it was originally on Cinemax, which is why it only got 2 seasons at the start, because nobody fucking has Cinemax.
No one watches Cinemax.
We're not going to pay another $15 goddamn for
Right.
something that should come
And
with
also,
HBO.
stop telling me shit's on Hulu if it's really on Cinemax and I gotta
Right.
pay extra.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
you.
Also, looking at you, Disney, quit advertising things I want to watch and making me pay more money to watch them.
Yeah. Oh, service it. Stop nickel and diming me. Stop it.
But HBO purchased the rights for this show from Cinemax, and they are basically, I think, gearing up for a season 3. They're trying to see how many people are going to watch it. And I got to tell you, man, this show is really good. There is a lot. You get to learn the main characters. There's several main characters that are kind of pushed throughout the story, and you see little subsects of their different stories, kind of, like in any standard TV drama, like, you know, The Sopranos, sometimes they'd follow Paulie, sometimes they'd follow Christopher, it kind of bounces you around. But all these characters are, in a way that I haven't seen in a while in good dramatic television, are interlinked in a very, very good way. It doesn't seem like it makes sense at first, and then all those character stories start to blend together and make perfect sense.
Plus, you get to see what the busy flea is.
You get to see what the busy flea is, which I will leave that all to you. You can't. Don't bother looking for it on YouTube. You're not going to find it. But episode 5, the busy flea.
Busy flea.
Do the busy flea for me. You should watch it. I'm not going to spoil too much about the show because it's worth, getting into the surprises that it has for you.
Yeah.
Expect a lot of early century drug use, a lot of racism, expect a lot of fighting and fucking. It's, you know what I mean? It's that kind of show, but it's not like grotesque. You know what I mean? It's not like an excuse to show you people fucking or fighting. It's, part of the story.
the 4 Fs: fight, flight, fawn, and
Sex.
mating.
Mating. It's worth a watch. It's called The Nick.
That was in a textbook, by the way.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It said the 4 Fs, and the last one they said mating.
Mating. They can't say fucking
Really?
in a textbook. Yep.
Weird.
I'll have to show you the picture. I'm telling everybody to watch the show because I want to see season 3. I'm all the way finished with season 1. We're going to start season 2. I don't know what season 2's got, but I can tell you season 1's really good. It's worth a watch. You should watch it. Just start at the beginning. Start on the first episode. If you're not into it by the end of the first episode, I don't know what to tell you.
He'll eat his hat.
I'll eat my hat. God damn it.
Golly.
He's not wearing a hat.
He already ate it.
Because you didn't watch the episode.
Right.
Well, I can't argue with that logic. Are you still passing, Dave?
I don't know. I can't think of a single thing that I would encourage anyone to do.
Okay. If you do think of something, edit it into the episode, I guess.
I can think of something for you.
Nah.
So this week,
Because I control all your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
As your girlfriend.
I am a real human.
my recommendation this week is communism. My other recommendation for this week, however, is if you haven't played through the main games in the series, do yourself a favor, go back and revisit the Metal Gear Solid series.
Metal Gear?
I have been playing for Aubrey, who enjoys watching me play this. We're most of the way through Metal Gear Solid 2. And we're going to be moving on to my next favorite. The next one, which is my favorite, which is Snake Eater.
Classic.
Yeah. I don't know who is listening to this show that doesn't know what Metal Gear Solid is. But it concerns, to boil it down to its simplest plot elements.
Is it possible to simply explain Metal Gear?
One does not simply explain a Kojima game.
Metal Gear in a nutshell is about a shadow war between two clandestine organizations that started during
Almonds
the Cold
and
War,
walnuts.
and the consequences of which are slowly felt in the modern age. And the plot and ins and outs of this shadow war are discovered and revealed by the protagonists of the series, told over several decades across 2 generations or more. And also there are giant walking robots.
Yes. I think you nailed it.
The eponymous Metal Gears.
Metal Gear?
It's very enjoyable for its themes of anti-war, its themes of reconciling the idea of fighting for peace.
And weaponized animals.
Very heavy on themes of
Oh my god.
very heavy on themes of plotting your own course in life and not letting others, especially the government, tell you what you can and can't do, or should not do, or anyone for that matter.
So you like to play Castlevania?
And gameplay wise, gets better, I would say, with pretty much every iteration.
Yeah.
In the mainline series, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in the mainline series. 1, 2, 3.
Guns of the Patriots.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Portable Ops.
Yeah.
Peace Walker. And then Metal Gear Solid 5's prologue and main game.
Yeah.
Which are sold as two separate things. And then there's non-canon games. There's Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And is also awesome. But yeah, the main story, highly recommend, especially if you like detail in your plot lines.
The ending to Guns of the Patriots is like hours long. like hours long.
Mercifully, they include a pause button in the cutscenes for that game.
Yeah, specifically for that
The
reason.
fact that there's hours-long cutscenes in a video game is insane.
How cool is that last fist fight though, right?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah, or the one fight.
yeah.
You know the
I
fight
know
I'm
what you're talking about, yeah.
I can't say anything because it's too awesome to talk about. And then
The famous one.
when we get back to 5, which
Metal Gear.
was the most recent one, it's sadly unfinished. There are rumors of a Kojima cut, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Very heavy on gameplay and not so much on cutscenes
Yeah.
for 5.
Yeah, 5 is like super sandboxy.
Yeah, it's open world, which is a first for the franchise.
Yeah.
And the amount of shit you could do.
It's insane. Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid is one of those series. It might actually be the pioneer series of fucking with your enemies in fun and creative ways.
Yes.
Setting a standard for stealth games for generations to come, all the way even up the the shit you can do in the Arkham series.
Yeah.
Counts. I mean, I really think that Metal Gear Solid set the standard for stealth games, where one of the big draws is being able to fuck with your enemies in fun and creative ways.
It's because you're fucking with me. That's why.
And the amount of ways you can do that only increases as the series goes on.
Yes.
But yeah, if you haven't bothered to play them yet, play them. Find a way to play them. If you got a console, you can get the digital collection.
Yep. I know they were giving 5 away for free for a while.
Wow.
It's like it's not a game you can kind of jump into the middle of if you're concerned with the story. If I was showing my wife the opening of Metal Gear 5, and she was like, "What the fuck is happening here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that reaction if you don't kind of know the main plot points."
Yeah. Definitely play them in the order that they were released.
Yes.
But anyway, find a way to play them. They're all gems. They're well-known games, and each one is good for its own reasons.
Good.
Well, anyway, unless you got something, I guess
I got nothing. I'll do a double recommendation next time.
Okay.
I'll make up for this one.
All right. Well, in the interests of getting ourselves to beddy by time, let's say what we learned.
Yeah, I have written the Chinese phonetic pronunciation for salmon. I think I wrote Samwenyu.
Sing with you.
I don't know.
I don't know what I was trying to write. It was like some joke about like a game show that has to do with piss, but I got distracted and I wrote, "Let's make Is This You Piss a thing?"
Let's make Is This You Piss?
Which makes no sense.
Is this your piss?
And I was like, "Is this
This
supposed
is
to be
your piss.
Yeah.
This is your piss?"
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this is your life.
I have ADHD, and as clearly
is this your
evidenced,
piss?
I got distracted and like couldn't focus enough to write what I meant to write.
The age-old question: Is this you piss?
Is this you piss?
I wrote. Oh right, diaper fur.
Yeah, I wrote that I remembered diaper furs are a thing, so
Yeah.
thank you for reminding me of that.
I wrote down everyone's new nicknames.
Okay.
So mine is Kristy First Swipe Davenport, Ben Prehensile Penis Reese, Dave Handful of Teeth Dragowski, and Chris I Don't Mind Flicking the Bean Brady.
Nice.
I wrote that nothing good could come of a love affair between Waffle House and Viacom.
Yeah, I have that on here too. Just a quote: "Not possible because it's Waffle House and Viacom." I also wrote, "Uncle Sam wants to jerk you off."
I wrote, I love it when you call me Big Felony.
I learned that piss is one of the 4 mother sauces.
I have that too. This is a very that's got to be the name of the episode, right? The 4 mother sauces.
It's a very pissy episode.
Yeah.
I wrote that I started writing one and I stopped at the most hilarious possible point. I wrote Big Semen. And what I was going to say was... I think this is shorthand for that. I learned that there is a big semen stain in the Youngstown county courthouse.
But I like it as though it's like Big Pharma, like big semen.
Regulate big semen. Big semen is dead now, but there is a big semen stain on the floor of the Youngstown Municipal Courthouse.
Big semen.
We got to regulate big semen. Let's see. I wrote, "You do the pissy pokey and you shake your foreskin dry." And the last thing I wrote is capitalism sucks.
Yeah.
I wrote down
the truth.
to reiterate at the end of the episode, or to iterate at the end of the episode. I wrote down that Danish Big Macs, in addition to not being any more than 10 cents more expensive, are probably also tastier than Big Macs here.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that.
Yeah.
The 10 cents goes a long way.
Well,
They taste like Danish.
Hey-oh.
I'm sorry.
made out of 100% pure farm-raised Danes. All right. That's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. For whatever reason, you still continue to come back to us.
I don't know why.
Thanks for joining us, Kristy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you for
and
Kristy to being our
letting me bring down your episode.
guest and for providing our game.
That famous game.
The famous
That
Everyone's
famous
playing.
game that everyone is playing.
famous game.
And we will see you next time here on the Three Dudes Show. Will we have a guest? Who knows?
We don't know.
Who can say?
We don't plan this
We're
shit.
making this shit up as we go along.
Yep. We fucked up our 100th episode and just did a normal one instead because
Yeah.
that was better.
Improvise, feng shui, I Ching, fucking cosmic stars align.
Yep.
Your chakras, all the way up from your headache chakra down to your WAP chakra.
Yep. Fred, we got to align your chakras.
And we'll see you next time when your chakras are all whatever.
Yeah.
Shake those chakras out.
Yep. That's a wet ass chakra.
Embrace communism.
Was.